Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back. I'm used to talking about the podcast. Welcome to the very first CHAZZIE Awards that we are doing for it's kind of a look back, or an opportunity for us to look back on the EnteR ChatZman podcast that we started this year. This is our chance to revisit some of our, what do you say, favorite games?
Highs and lows.
Highs and lows, definitely. If you wanted to know how it's going to operate, we are... I'm already messing everything up. But we basically kind of put a survey out there for all of you to each of us chose, the three of us chose a nominee each, and then we kind of left it up to you guys. We put surveys out there to allow you to kind of, make your own decisions and kind of open voting. If you wanted to know, we do have some tiebreakers. So how that's going to operate is essentially we're going to have some brawl knuckle fights between the three of us, or two of us, I should say, to try and, in about 30 seconds, kind of try and, get the other person to kind of sway their way in terms of who we should allow to win. So I guess I'll open it. Here are my buddies, MetalGamer and Phoenix, my co-hosts on the podcast. How are you guys doing? And what do you guys do?
It's an exciting night. I mean, the first annual CHAZZIE Awards. I mean, people keep talking about, the biggest night in gaming being the Video Game Awards.
Yeah.
Psh, they got nothing on us. I mean, look at this production value. We have a live studio.
Look at these coats.
We have
the nicest coats you can get.
What else do we have the Game Awards doesn't have? We have a much better musical guest. Who'd they have? Halsey at the Video Game Awards?
They had Halsey and Hosier.
They don't matter. We got Super Metal Gamer. This guy's going to go ahead and give us an amazing musical number in just a little bit as our intermission, so keep a lookout for that. Here's something else the Game Awards does not have. This guy. The Golden CHAZZIE. I know.
100% me. It is actually me.
We had to melt him down. We took off his pinky and molded him into this this little caricature you see here. We're not going to tell you how we actually made him because I'll be too embarrassed.
He's a little more slender than the actual thing, but I appreciate what they were trying to do for me, I guess.
You're working on it. New Year's resolution, right?
Yeah.
One thing the Game Awards does have that we don't are 3 hours of advertisements, so we don't have to worry about that.
Oh, we forgot Dorito. We forgot our Doritos and Mountain Dew cans to. Dang it.
Shucks.
Tell you what, next year we'll have those.
Hey, but at least we're an award show that actually talks about awards, so you're in the right place. How you doing, Metal?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. This is going to be an exciting night.
It's almost like you're here in person. You're just squeezed right in between me and Chaz. A little metal sandwich.
Hi. Hey, guys.
I'm super excited for your performance. I think it's going to be an all-timer.
Ooh, yeah, I'm excited to play as well. That's going to be really fun. I hope everyone out there enjoys it too.
And if you guys don't know, Gamer his original band, one of his bands did my theme song that I essentially, I checked it out years ago.
Stole.
And I didn't steal, I asked. I said, hey, can I borrow this? And I ended up borrowing it. But I guess real quick, Gamer, did you think, was that a song that you really thought about when you made those albums, or was that a song you were like, no one cares about that one?
We wrote that because we wanted to really write something that was cool, heavy, and we were already at the time we were transitioning from an old band to a new band because we lost our drummer, and we got a new bass player, so we were kind of transitioning into the new name. So that was just happened to be one of the songs that kind of stuck to us at the time when we were creating it. So
cool. I just wasn't sure. I was always kind of curious where it was was it your what do you call it? Your day, what is it, the title track or something?
Oh, there was your title track. That wasn't your first album.
I don't mean title. What's
right?
always the most popular song on an album? What's it? It's
That was your first album?
I think so.
The first album from Saurus, yeah. It's called Intro in C because we're trying out a different tuning. So we were like, okay, let's give this a shot. And this one, since it doesn't have any lyrics, we figured, let's put it in the front. And it sounded good to kind of, have an introduction to the new album. So.
It reminded me of Mastodon. I think that's why I was like, I like this one. It sounds very Mastodon-y.
Yeah. Very nice. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys want to just get right into it? Just kind of kick this thing off?
So we're starting out with movies and TV shows first. So some of our best and worst nominations for both, and then towards the tail end we'll start getting to some more video game related stuff.
And as we get into the nominees, I'll give it away, and then all of us can kind of explain why we made the decision we did, whether that's good or bad.
And bonus points if anybody's watching in chat, if you can guess the references for the award names. I tried really hard to make them at least somewhat nerdy. So
Phoenix took up, he did his best when it came to that. I think most of them are fantastic.
Some are deep cuts, so bonus points if you can catch any. All right, let's roll right into it.
All right, so we're going to get into, for this year, of our very first CHAZZIE Awards. Here's our very first award. We have Eaten by a Smoke Monster Award. That basically means, for us, the worst TV show that we got to watch. So, the nominees for this are going to be Halo, Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, and The Cuphead Show. So, Phoenix is the first pick. He chose Halo, so Phoenix, take it away.
And one thing I will mention before we get too far into this, these nominations we picked are not like hands down the worst TV show that happened this year for sure. These are just ones that we picked that we watched. And like, to be fair, we have not watched every show that aired this year. We haven't played every game that came out this year. So if there are some odd picks or you feel like there's some omissions that you're like, well, that should definitely be in that category, that's why.
If you don't like the winner, you can
dislike your peers. ChazmaN all your hate mail.
No, dislike your peers.
I will send you his personal. I'll dox him right now. He lives right now.
Yeah,
exactly. All right. Halo. Why was this my worst TV show? Man, so many reasons. And if you really want to know, go back and watch some of the early podcasts. This was one of our first few topics that we talked about.
Can I just say, I don't wholeheartedly disagree with you choosing that one. I don't know. I felt like I had to choose something else. So.
I felt like there were a lot of bad TV shows this year. Honestly, when we get to talk about best TV shows, I had a really hard time even thinking of something. And maybe that, I don't know if that speaks to the quality of shows you've had this year, or just the bad selection I've made.
None of us picked Kenobi. That should be on there.
That was a close one. Halo, for me, I think the biggest issue is it deviated just so far from not just the source material. I get that a show or anything is going to be an adaptation of the original source material, but at its core, for me to be okay with like story changes and whatnot, the characters still have to feel like the characters. And in this show, Master Chief felt nothing like Master Chief, and it just got worse and worse and worse as the show progressed. So I think it just really lost its way. So that's my main thing. I won't go into all the details. If you're really curious about why I did not like this show, go back. We spent several hours, I think, tearing the show apart episode by episode. So
can't believe you didn't like seeing Master Chief's butt and Master Chief getting down.
I mean, good for him, but not good for the viewers.
All right,
I didn't even watch it. That's hilarious.
I hate to say it, but yeah, another one that I was incredibly disappointed by. This is probably the one I had the most hope for, simply because I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan, love the Peter Jackson trilogy. I even think, to an extent, the Hobbit trilogy is a little underrated, but I won't get into all of that.
Ooh.
So I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, and for me, The Rings of Power was pretty bad. I don't feel like, in my opinion, it really followed much of the stuff that I kind of wanted to see in terms of, kind of the, what is it, the first, oh my gosh, I can't think.
Starts with an S.
The first, oh my gosh, I can't think of.
You're talking about the prequel book, right?
Yeah, it's the Silmarillion, but there was a
yeah.
specific name for each time frame that the stories take place in. It's the I don't know, the first time frame. It at least for me didn't do anything for me personally, and then I feel like they ruined Galadriel. They ruined Sauron. I don't know. I wasn't really happy with it. I didn't even get. I did an episode reviewing each. I did a video reviewing each episode. Never even finished it. Finished the last episode or two. So, all right. But that's my pick. Go ahead. Sorry, Metal.
Oh no, I'm listening to you.
I'm really curious about your explanation on this one, Metal, because I hadn't heard a lot about it.
I thought
heard
it was
some
good.
Favorable things, so I'm curious.
I don't know.
Did you play the game
I enjoyed
first?
the game.
You enjoy? Okay.
The game was really good. If you like, hard, a very difficult game with like really fun ways to try to defeat bosses, that's really good as a game. And this one in particular, you got the two MaN and Cuphead. And these two, like, what I didn't like about it is I guess I was expecting it to be like, I guess, a lot more 1940s, 1950s, I guess, like with the whole art style, whatnot. It captures bits and pieces of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
What was it on? Was this Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. No, I was asking if it was on Netflix.
Yeah, and it just didn't do it for me. I didn't like the characters much. Usually they're by episodes, which is fine, which I'm okay with. You know, old school cartoons are very episodic.
And was
I love
it sorry?
episodic cartoons.
Was it
What's up?
voice acted compared to the games, or was it still non-voice acted?
Oh, it was voice acted.
Well, the game wasn't
The
really
game
voice
was
acted.
no
Yeah.
voice.
Well, you have to have voice acting. It's a show. I mean, at least at
I
this
remember-
Yeah.
scale.
Yeah, well, even then they could have gotten away with no voice acting if they really didn't want to. But they put voice acting, and I wasn't a fan of the voices. After a while, Mugman just became really annoying, and I don't know, the characters just didn't sit right with me. What would you normally find really entertaining in the original game, I wasn't entertained by this at all. If you watch just the trailers alone, you'd be like, oh, this looks okay. Then you watch like 2 episodes, and you're like, all right, I think I'm done. You know,
Interesting.
So, yeah.
That was one I
wasn't
meant to
feeling it.
watch, but I feel like it just came out at a not great time for me, where I just didn't have time to watch it.
Fair enough.
Kind of similar to the Castlevania thing. Like I still have never gotten around to watching that, and I know people love that show. Oh, I'm going off on a tangent. Castlevania
No,
is not a part of these things.
Wrong purpose. This is not a full-fledged podcast.
This
We're
is
trying
not-
we got a lot of categories to
We
get
gotta
through.
stay
so.
on topic.
All
There we
right,
go.
so there's our explanations. You can agree to disagree or just disagree with us flat out.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. But we do have a winner,
Yep.
and I don't think any of us know the winners.
No.
All right, so you guys ready? Here we
Drum
go.
roll.
All right, so the winner of the first of our categories, Eaten by a Smoke Monster Award of Worst TV Show is... Oh, it's going down. We have Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Woo!
Oh,
Yay! I think.
Oh, I just hit
And
the
you
mic.
Hitting the mic around.
I forgot to get the...
Man,
And you're ruining all my production values.
you get excited, and then all of a sudden you want to destroy.
That's
a
why I'm
flip table.
trying to lose
Job.
all this weight, so I stopped knocking into mics and stuff.
Well, congratulations, I suppose,
Yeah.
to
All right.
the Rings of Power for the first CHAZZIE Award of the night.
Mr. Bezos, can you please walk in here? Thank you. There you go, Mr. Bezos. There you go. Congratulations.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
I snuck this in, have a dishonorable mention, which Chaz kind of alluded to. Kenobi was also
I didn't know
a
you had
terrible
that in
show.
there.
Well, okay, so I was on putting together this presentation. I feel like that gave me the liberty to squeeze in some extra mentions that didn't make the cut. This show is bad for a whole bunch of other reasons that, once again, won't waste time on tonight, but oof, man.
It's
that's
incredibly
about
disappointing because I felt like it started off strong, and then immediately for me
it.
went...
Like the first half of the episode was maybe okay, and it tanked pretty quick. The quintessential moment that I was like, this is not going to be a good show, when they hid Leia in the coat and tried to sneak her. No, that was it.
The show basically did all the things you would expect. It's like, hello there, and then, here's Qui-Gon,
It
and
was
it's like,
fan servicey for the sake of being fan service and no substance. But either way, not the worst show, but
wow.
pretty close.
no.
All right, so we're moving on to the second category. We had the worst, so
Yep, so we're going to move on to category number 2. Now we have the It's Always Sunny Award, our best TV show category. And so our nominees for this very prestigious award is going to be The Boys Season 3, which was picked by moi. And then we have Beavis and Butthead. And then we also have Andor. So Metal picked Beavis and Butthead. Phoenix picked Andor. So I guess I'll go first, huh?
Yep.
Just to kind of talk about it. I don't know. Coming off of seasons 1 and 2, I think The Boys The Boys in general has probably been the best TV show I've seen in quite a bit. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I never got to watch Breaking Bad or any other show you would consider like great TV shows now. But yeah, for me, it was just a lot of the same. It hit a lot of the same notes. While I remember when I first started watching it, Phoenix was telling me about how crazy the first episode is, and yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It's more of the same. I love the actors. I'm a huge Carl Urban fan. That's all I got to say.
All right, fair. Do you think? 'Cause I know I turned you on to the boys kind of all at once. So you kind of rushed through seasons 1 through 3.
I watched them all back to back, pretty much.
Do you think that impacted your feeling for this being your kind of favorite show of the year? That you kind of got to soak it all in at once? Do you think any of the season 1 and 2
it
stuff
could have been? It was
over?
a full year of the boys for me, I guess.
Yeah.
The year of the boys.
I mean, I don't disagree. I think season 3 on its own was really good, but if you're kind of packaging 1 and 2 with it, I think that elevates the whole thing a little bit. But.
Yeah.
All right, Beavis and Butthead. To give us a rundown, Metal, why was that your pick?
Okay, so we talked about episodic type of, TV shows, and this is a TV show that came out of nowhere. I did not expect there to be.
It came out of the early 90s where it came out of.
Yeah, but who would have thought it would have came out? They came out back in 2012 or 2011, and then it dropped off the face of the earth. So, I'm a huge, massive Beavis and Butthead fan, but the thing is that I wasn't having much expectations until I realized that Mike Judge himself decided to. MTV still runs it, or still like publishes it and whatever, what have you.
Right.
But he's running a show on it, so it's not MTV presents; it's Mike Judge presents, which is different. So I didn't have much expectations, so I saw 1 episode, 2 episodes, and they're absolutely hilarious. And everything you probably expected would probably happen did happen. So they have new angles, new cuts. The voices are pretty well done. I think Judge does Butthead still. And a lot of the really hilarious antics really shine, and along with the music videos and the
so there are still music
TikTok
videos. That was one of my favorite parts.
Music videos, TikToks, and YouTube Reels.
I think seeing Beavis and Butthead do a TikTok is something I definitely want to see.
It's more of a time frame. You had to be there to enjoy getting to see, I don't know, Korn or Limp Bizkit midway. I don't know.
I'm sure that's part of the appeal of it. It's just taking the very early 90s kind of crass Beavis and Butthead, aesthetic, and then shove it into a modern era. I'm sure there's at least something appealing to that kind of nostalgic take.
Right. And what's interesting is that they even had a movie, which is interesting.
What was it?
Was it like Take On America or
Do America?
Do
I thought
America?
it was.
Yeah.
Oh man, that movie is okay compared to this one. The new one is Do the Universe.
Oh, okay.
And this one, they pretty much travel through time to today. So they're able to take that. They took that and then they just kind of dropped them in today's society with cell phones and all kinds of music that's going on today.
Nice.
While them still being in high school.
All right.
It is what it is. But I have yet to see Principal McVicker.
Oh,
But that's okay.
Maybe
So to me, it was pretty awesome. I enjoyed it. I've seen all of them so far, and I'm hoping to see more.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. So third and final category for what was the title of this? Oh, It's Always Sunny.
It's Always Sunny, best TV show.
I picked EnteR, and I'll tell you, this was a last-minute pick for me.
I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, I had a real hard time picking a good show I watched this year. Like most shows I feel like I watched were
If I didn't
disappointing
pick
at the
The
least.
Boys, would you have picked The Boys?
Maybe. I'd actually, until you put that out as a nomination, I forgot I'd watched it this year.
Really?
I was trying to think like a new show, and The Boys.
Oh, so I didn't even know you were looking for like.
Oh no, it doesn't matter. I mean, season 3 of The Boys is a fine pick.
Okay.
I just forgotten all about it. But I had heard that EnteR was at least getting good critical acclaim, and I was like, okay, I'm going to rush try to find something that has a good chance of being decent. And I'll tell you, the show started out pretty slow, but it got really good really quick. Like this it's a different take on Star Wars, but I think what was nice is
does it get away from the Jedi type?
Very much so. It grounds things a lot. But I think what was helpful with this show, without really digging into it, is kind of the opposite of why Kenobi didn't work. So with Kenobi, you had these really iconic characters, right? With, Darth Vader and Kenobi. And it was really easy to mess them up if you didn't respect the characters. And I think that's what happened with Kenobi. There was a lot of things that just didn't make sense for the characters, and it fell very flat for me. With this, though, since although it is a established character from Rogue One, it's a very unknown character overall. You don't know a lot about his backstory or anything. So they had a lot to work with. They weren't going to make anybody angry if they adjusted stuff about the character. So I think that helped make it a little more palatable. And then just in general, really well written. The cinematography was excellent in this. Like this felt like a movie, like through and through. Looked so much better than Kenobi did. So I won't go into it any more than that. But if you're looking for a good Star Wars show to watch, or just any kind of Star Wars content, and you feel like you've been let down in recent years by some of the Star Wars stuff out there, this is a good take. All right, we got a winner.
Nice.
All right, so yes, so let's move on to category 2. We've got the
we
winner.
didn't
No,
go-
I'm
oh.
sorry. I just
Moving
I don't know why
on.
I said, but yeah, so the ultimate winner for the It's Always Sunny Award for Best TV Show is The Boys Season 3. Dun, 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 dun.
Yay!
Jeff Bezos,
Damn,
come back
double
out.
hitter,
Where's
Chaz.
Jeff Bezos again? You have the worst
Two
and the best TV show of the year. There you go.
Congratulations.
Now you have to knock down everything on the table really quick and then put it back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Isn't that something Amazon for us? Best and worst. It's total opposite ends of the spectrum for them.
that is fun. Well, I don't disagree with that choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked, of course, Andor and whatnot, but The Boys was solid. As I said, if I would have remembered that as being an option, I may have picked that. So.
It's actually crazy is the more people for this category didn't watch any of those shows that we picked.
Yeah, so just to throw it out there, when we did the voting, each one of us gave a nomination, but then we understood that, people voting may not have seen the 3 things that we have seen, so we did have an option there for I didn't watch any of those. So I guess looking at kind of the breakdown, it looks like more people did not watch any of these 3 than actually voted for them. So
We just don't want to, you like to give people an option. I mean, I don't know.
yeah, I want to force somebody to pick a show that they didn't watch. So.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Okay, so we're going to move on to category number 3. So we got the Not the Bees Award.
This
for
is my favorite
the worst
title.
Who named it?
Not
Who
the
named
Bees. Phoenix. Phoenix named all of these. I don't want to take any credit from him. But this is our...
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't see how you don't see its worst movie with Not the Bees. But unless you like, what was that? Wicker Man?
I'll tell you,
The Wicker Man.
The Wicker Man, I think, is objectively
movie's
bad.
awesome.
But yeah, like if you go in with the right expectations, it's funny at the very, very least. So
I like
It's
it when
a
he
terrible
walks.
movie, but hilarious.
He walks straight up to the. Is it the lady? And he punches her.
in the bear suit, right?
And there's no And I like it when there's no context. If you
yeah,
watch
just see
the
like
clip,
a meme. Or, yeah,
it's pretty
He
great.
jumps off a bike in a bear suit to be able to punch her in the face.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that's epic.
yeah, that has great moments. But anyway, that's getting
Oh,
off
yeah.
track. Worst movie.
All right. So the nominees for the Not the Bees Award worst movie are we have Uncharted. I'm pretty sure that had more of a title, wasn't it?
No, it was just
It was just Uncharted.
No,
Oh, okay.
It was Uncharted.
Okay. We have. This is going to be controversial, but I picked Dragon Ball Super Superhero because from what I saw, most people liked it. Apologies. But we also we have Thor: Love and Thunder. So Metal picked Uncharted. I picked Dragon Ball. Phoenix picked Thor: Love and Thunder. Metal, take it away. Why did you not like Uncharted?
Oh boy. What didn't I like about it?
No, beyond what you did not like. Why did you hate this
God.
movie?
Oh god, just everything about it just did not sit with me at all. This one was just within the first 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, let's see what's going on here. What movie are we watching? And then it's like, oh, this is a movie called Uncharted. I'm like, you mean like the game? They're like, yeah. I'm like, when did this come out? And it's like, oh, this year. I'm like, uh-oh.
They should have just told you it had nothing to do with the game. That maybe that would have made it more enjoyable. Or maybe not.
But the problem is that I've played 2 of the games. I didn't play the 3rd one, or the others. But I really enjoyed the first 2, and this is supposed to be the first one.
No,
from
not really. Like
or something like that.
they kind of just mixed all moments from all 3 into this. Like it starts out. What would it start out? I know they have the.
I never saw it.
They're in the plane, falling out of the plane. That's from 3, if I recall. So
is that from 3? Okay,
they
I
just
missed
kind of
that
pick
part.
and choose. Like they're not following the games at all.
Did they do the train from
No.
2?
No train.
No train? Oh.
No,
Interesting.
And I'm not sure if that was a good or a bad thing. I don't know. But I'm sorry. Keep on going. I'm stealing it.
I didn't like the fact that now that you tell me that, maybe that makes sense why I didn't like it, because a lot of it just didn't follow with anything. And I was just like, oh god, the characters. Don't get me started with the characters. I didn't like that Tom Holland. I didn't think he was a good character with him. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But
Should
I
it
didn't
have
like the characters. I didn't like the way they did any of it. Coming from, again, if you play the games, you're not gonna like the movie.
Yeah.
It's just
Should
not that.
should it
It's a
have
very
been?
bad adaptation.
Should it have been our boy Nathan? Should he have
He's
been?
aged out, man.
He's too aged.
Nathan Fillion. But I think that's part getting at it. Whenever you take on, you know, casting any kind of iconic video game character, that is so hard to do because we all already have preconceived notions on who we want to see, and of course we want to see
Just get Chris
the video
Pratt.
game character.
Just get Chris Pratt.
Chris
not only
Pratt
that,
as
not
Nathan Drake.
But not only that, like I mean, you get it's not just it's not just Nathan Drake, it's Sully as well. Because
Yeah,
he's always
Wahlberg as Sully was a miss.
Oh, that was they
What are you
shot
doing,
that one
Nathan?
off. I don't know what they were trying to do.
Everything just fell off. I mean, I agree with you. I don't know if I hated it as much as you did. Like, I certainly hated my nominee more than that one, but I agree with you. Everything just was not quite right. I think there probably could have been a good movie in there. They just deviated too much. There were some casting mishaps, and I don't know. It was all over the place.
I'm glad I haven't watched it yet. I'm not
Yeah,
interested.
they could have just. I mean, there was
My wife
enough
liked
to
it.
do at least like.
There you go.
They
Someone
could have
liked your
done 1,
movie.
2, and 3. You know, like they could have gone away with, hey, let's just do like one of them and see how well it does.
Well, I don't think they even needed to follow the games.
any of it.
I think, and this is what I was getting back to with the Halo stuff. I honestly don't care too much if they change the story around. Sometimes that's necessary to adapt to a different medium, whether it be film or book or whatever. But the characters have to feel like the characters. At least for me to be able to kind of transition into it. That was my issue with Halo.
Yeah.
Master Chief did not feel like Master Chief. This Nathan Drake, he would.
Didn't feel like
Yeah,
Nathan.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't hate Tom Holland. I had a bigger issue with Wahlberg more than anything else. But you're right. Everything just
Yeah.
felt a little off. I mean, I think going for the really young take on Nathan Drake was maybe the issue. They should have aged him up a little more. Tom Holland just always looks young. Like, even when he's older, like
He's actually like 26.
yeah, he's in
or
his mid to late 20s, I think,
Yeah.
now. And he still looks like he's early 20s, which can be good and bad, depending. But either way,
Yeah, so that's me. That's
all right.
Okay.
I think it went longer.
So we're gonna move on. I'm gonna be super quick, but I picked, and this made me very sad to do, but I picked Dragon Ball Super Superhero. If you haven't seen on my channel, huge Dragon Ball fan. It's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Dragon Ball Z, even GT to an extent. I like aspects of it, but haven't seen much of Super. I need to get on that. But one of my all-time favorite shows, and I feel like this movie totally just dropped the ball. I don't know. I remember all three of us. Did all three of us go, or was it just me and you? I think it was just me
I
and
think
you.
it was you and
Phoenix.
me.
Yeah, and
No, but I went to see it too.
But you,
I saw it twice.
Yeah, but you didn't
actually.
go with us, is what we're saying. You weren't in town, right?
no, yeah.
I wish I was in town.
Me
But I was
too.
there in spirit.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember telling Phoenix when we were watching it, I hated the animation. I don't know what about it. I did not like the animation style. I thought it was but ugly. I feel like they totally dropped the ball with Gohan. I feel like Gohan, the whole movie was supposed to be centered around him and Piccolo. And I don't know. I didn't like what they did with Gohan, and I feel like they totally had something where they could have done something more with the weird, crazy new cell that they introduced. And he was just a big monster. And it's like,
Big dummy.
me and Phoenix were
Yeah.
talking about it on our video that we did, our review of it, kind of, our impression video. And Cell, in his glory days, when you remember him, in the original show, he was like so charismatic, it was so awesome to hear him talk and see how he like interacted with
And he
Gohan
was
and
an
Goku.
intelligent fighter too.
Yeah.
Like this was literally just any other big enemy. There was nothing Cell about him except he was, looked like Cell.
Yeah.
So that, I agree. That was disappointing.
Yeah, and that's kind of it for me. I feel like that movie just kind of dropped the ball on everything it was supposed to be about. The whole Dragon Ball Cell saga.
I agree.
It didn't. I don't think it added literally anything to any of that. So
Yeah.
sorry.
And
I agree.
I'll add to that. And here's the thing: like I know you haven't watched Super. I know a lot of people kind of middling on Super. I liked most of it. Like maybe I'm just a little more apologetic to it. There's stuff I really did like about Super, stuff I didn't. But I was more hyped going into this, just with that kind of understanding that I understood what Super was. And I still feel like this just dropped the ball. It felt a little too cliche sometimes. Right, the animation overall was poor. Every once in a while I thought it looked all right, but it was hit or miss at best. And then Cell, I think, was the biggest disappointment.
Yeah,
So
I
I
agree.
agree.
I'm gonna add to that too because I didn't talk to you guys about this. I didn't like it. I wanted to like it.
I was the same
I
way.
felt just like Chaz about it. I wanted to like it, and I wanted to see Gohan rise. They threw him to the side and said, he's just a bookworm now. It's like that sucks.
I forgot about
Now
Orange
they gave him a
Piccolo.
chance, and they still
Sorry, I interrupted.
Form
they
was
still
bad.
fell flat on it. they still feel flat. It's just like, thanks. And then on top of that, they gave Piccolo that.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing that really weirded me out.
Weak transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't want. No, I mean, obviously, there's a spoiler, but it's just kind of like dumb. Like I don't know.
This movie
I
had a
did
lot
like
of
the
just
animation.
wasted potential.
Well,
I think there could have been a really good story in here, some really cool stuff
Mhm.
they could have done, and just everything was just like off by at least that much. Sometimes a lot
Well, it's
further.
especially disappointing because I remember a lot of people liked Broly. I wasn't a fan of Broly, but
I
a lot of
didn't care
people
for
liked
Broly.
Broly. I don't know.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like it just sucked.
Yeah.
And what I didn't like about it either was, you guys touched upon it already. I didn't like the animations. It looked like they took the game engine
Mhm. It was butt ugly.
and they just animated everything out through the game engine, half of it, and then the rest of it was like regular. I don't know, maybe hand drawn.
You know what animation would have looked good with it? The Into the Spider-Verse animation I think could have worked for it. And I just saw my daughter wanted to go see the new Puss in Boots over this holiday
I
break.
didn't know there was a new Puss in
They
Boots movie.
animated it like
see.
Spider-Verse. It actually is. It's a
What?
beaut. Like I mean, I'm not as big as like Puss in
Is
Boots guy.
Antonio
but
Banderas still?
he
in
is. He
voice?
is.
Oh.
But the movie was actually pretty decent. But it looked really, really good. I think part of it is that animation style. I think Dragon Ball could have done something like that and really benefited. But anyways,
All right, Dragon Ball sucked. Phoenix,
I
go
screwed up.
ahead with Love and Thunder because this one's.
You saw this one with me.
I
yeah.
saw it with you, and thank goodness we were drinking.
This one, man, I really, really wanted to like this. Partially, it's got that '80s aesthetic, which I'm a sucker for. But it was all show. There was no substances whatsoever. It really leaned into that. So how Ragnarok got a little jokey, it was kind of on that threshold of like a little cringy, but it was okay. This leaned into it so far that it was cringe 90% of the time. The screaming goats, man, that gag got old quick. And once again, wasted potential. Gore, like Christian Bale's character, just wasted. Like he was the best part of the movie.
He was the best part of the movie,
and he was in it for maybe 10%, maybe 20. I don't know. It was such a small percentage. Like he probably could have saved the movie, given a little more oomph.
He ended up coming out and saying they
cut a lot.
They cut a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's true.
I think they were trying to make it probably more jokey, probably to have a certain, I don't know, something. Marvel's been on an odd track in this last phase. There's not a whole lot I've really enjoyed from it. I still like most Marvel things, or I try to, but this one really lost me. So yeah, not a fan of Thor: Love and Thunder.
All right, so
All right, what we got?
So let's go ahead. Okay, so for our winner for the Not the Bees Award, which is our best movie, is
Not best movie, worst movie.
Oh, worst movie. Did I say best?
Yeah,
Okay.
worst movie.
Worst movie.
Dragon Ball.
Is
It's a tie right now.
tie. Oh no!
This is our first
man.
official tie between Thor: Love and Thunder and Uncharted.
Ooh,
I
really?
keep wanting to say Lost Legacy. That's a
Ooh.
game, isn't it? Uncharted
Yes.
Lost. I don't know why I keep wanting to. All right, so
Oh boy.
we have if we didn't mention it before, 30 seconds. We have these two are they're going to do their best to try and convince me. Although it's going to be hard, seeing as how I didn't see one of the two movies that you guys are going to try and tell me about.
Well, I'll let Serrano or Metal go first, just because I think he's got the harder job here. So when you see the timer go, Metal, you got 30 seconds to pitch why Uncharted is the worst.
Go ahead.
And go.
It was just awful. Just awful, I'm telling you.
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg, he was terrible. I didn't like the way he was chewing bubble gum. He didn't have a mustache.
The mustache. I'll help you. That was the worst. He didn't have his mustache.
He had a mustache, or he didn't have
didn't.
Oh.
Until like the last
He wasn't
scene.
old enough.
Was not old enough.
Sully is supposed to be the older guy who's like, oh, with this stupid freaking, Hawaiian shirt looking all like Jimmy Buffett. No, that didn't work.
So Metal
Yeah,
Gamer
but-
took the emotional approach. He just wanted to show me how angry it made him. What's your approach, Phoenix?
Uh-oh, my timer is freaking out. Hold on, you got -4 seconds now. Oh no.
Oh no.
I think my poor
I did that.
Apologies, guys. I should say this is our first time having this show.
there's the timer.
Hopefully,
sound.
we have everything operable for you.
All right. I don't even need the timer. I just got one thing to say: the screaming goat gag. That's all I got to say. That did it for me.
It wasn't great.
It was not great. So, That's it.
That's all you're gonna throw out there?
I think that's it. I already kind of gave my spiel. I mean, gore was wasted, but screaming goats. I'll just leave it at that. I won't even use the timer.
You know,
Mustache and goats.
sorry to do this to you,
Mustache
Phoenix.
versus goats.
Well, I think why I would say I liked... Well, it's hard for me to say I liked one more than the other because I didn't see Uncharted. But at least for me, I enjoyed seeing Christian Bale act it up and do a bunch of things. So should I take into account how I really feel, or should I go off of your points that you guys made?
This is up to you. you gotta break the tie,
awards, buddy.
I'm at least like Chris Hemsworth, and I liked his some of his scenes, and I enjoyed Christian Bale.
Okay.
So for me, I would say I don't think I could call it the worst movie of the year, but it's definitely it would be on my list.
Okay.
I would have to say I would have to go with Uncharted because I just don't think I'm sorry, I'm not drawn in about Tom Holland. I'm not drawn in by Marky Mark. He hates that, by the way. If he ever watches this, I'm sorry.
So this is the worst movie just because you don't even want to see it.
I don't even want to see those actors. Okay. And I'm sorry to Tom Holland. I like him somewhat as Spider-Man, Peter Parker, but I'm not that interested. At least with the other movie, Christian Bale, Chris Hemsworth, I at least get to see them for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Uncharted is the worst movie. Congratulations. Okay,
I felt bad because I didn't like it and I didn't want to disagree, but
all right. Well, since you disagreed with me, I'm going to take my liberty and throw in a dishonorable mention. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. This one for me was pretty low on my list.
I thought it was pretty mid.
This one has so much wasted potential, though. Like, I feel like they just wasted Wanda. Yeah. Like, they made her just pure villain.
If we had a disappointing category, maybe this would have been my most disappointing. Not worst, but most disappointing. If that makes any sense.
That's fair. It may be objectively a better movie than, like, Thor or the others, but I don't know. I was pretty disappointed in this one.
Yeah.
But all right, moving on. Cap off our movie and TV categories.
So this finishes up movie and TVs, like Phoenix is saying. So we're going to move on to our number 4 category. We have the With Great Power Award, which means Best Movie. And Phoenix, I think, has that titled that way because we love Sam Raimi and we love the Sam Raimi original Spider-Man movies. I'm guessing that's why you have that on there. I like Spider-Man's 1 and 2. I don't know. I don't remember how I feel about 3. I don't know what.
I haven't watched it in a while. But
I haven't watched it in a long time. Yeah. All right. So our picks are: I guess on the whole, the first half of the movie for me is pretty good and interesting, and then the second half kind of dips out a little bit. I kind of lost a little bit of interest. I feel like it may have run a little bit too long or things, but at least I should be positive. But
for your best movie,
for my best movie, I enjoyed the Batmobile scene. The whole Batmobile scene with him and Cobblepot Oswald, like that whole scene was fantastic. I loved how many times he would enter and exit the club, the Iceberg Lounge, and how he because he's like a learning Batman on the job. Right. He enters it 3 different ways in the movie. The first time he sneaks in, the first time he goes in through the front door, second time he sneaks in, I don't remember, but they were 3 different ways he entered, and the last way he just ran in there, knocked everyone out, and went straight to Cobblepot.
I noticed that.
Yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was really good, but if I compared it to other Batman movies, I definitely feel like it was lacking in certain areas.
You're really selling this as the best movie, Chaz.
Apologies. I think my problem is when I think Batman, I just all of my thoughts get kind of combined on everything Batman. It was fun. It was a fun movie. I more enjoyed the first half, but I don't know.
That's fair.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, and I was kind of in the same boat. I probably would have picked the Batman. Because once again, I was in a similar situation with the TV shows. I hadn't watched many good movies this
I wanted
year.
to watch one you picked so bad.
So, when I was getting ready to pick this topic, I put it on hold because I'm like, no, I've been wanting to watch this. So I rushed out and watched it. This Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And I didn't know a lot about it. I just knew everybody was like, this movie is the coolest, craziest thing. I know some people are being it's a masterpiece. I don't know if I'd go quite that far, but think this is Kung Fu Hustle mixed with Jet Li's The One.
Oh, those are 2 of my favorite movies. Oh my god.
Did you watch it, Metal?
No, I've never even heard of this movie.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere, and I like saw little like
You
mentions
are
of it.
nobody's.
It came
I
from
don't know. I always love it.
it came everywhere at once.
It kind of just like popped up random. Like I never like I'd see a mention of it and then disappear, and then I'd see it again somewhere and disappear. Actually, like on a
It was
plane,
all
I
over
saw it.
IGN when it came when it was popping.
Yeah, and it's a weird one because it's a, to my knowledge, American-made film, but it feels very much like Kung Fu Hustle. It's got a lot of subtitles, but at the same time, it's also got English dialogue. So it's a
Kung Fu Hustle's so good.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Kung Fu.
I don't think
love
I
Kung
can
Fu
go any
Hustle.
further without like I don't know if I can really
Giving
define
anything.
this movie.
Don't-
I
you
really
don't have
don't
to
want
try.
to spoil.
Yeah, you don't have to try.
But yeah, if Kung Fu Hustle is kind of that weird comedic kind of Asian kung fu style, if that's in your realm of interest, and then it has like a multiverse aspect. So that's why I mentioned the one. It's worth a watch. It is definitely interesting. I think you would definitely like it. I think you'd like it too, Metal. But
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Cool.
All right, Metal.
Oh, I guess
Sonic.
it'll be me.
It's just because you like the
So-
game, right?
What's up?
Oh, did we lose him? Hold on.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, good.
I'm right here.
Are you there?
Are you there?
Yeah.
Oh no!
I'm
I
here.
heard him disappear.
Oh, Discord's dropping you.
Technical issues.
Apologies.
Oh, that's
Oh,
interesting.
there he
we hear
is.
you. We hear you.
That is really
Right.
weird. Well, anyway, so yeah, Sonic 2. So I chose this one because I really enjoyed the first one. I thought it was good. I didn't know how this was gonna be, to be honest. And then I saw it and I really really enjoyed it. Like both movies, in my opinion, Jim Carrey really steals the whole entire thing. He steals the whole entire movie.
He's the reason I want to
Um,
watch both of them. I still haven't seen them.
Yeah, like it's just really good. All the hilarious scenes in the movie, they're just a lot of little pieces that were really good. One of the things that I really enjoyed about it was that they gave Sonic a lot more emotion and more character in this movie. And then since they had Jim Carrey doing all kinds of stuff, they gave Robotnik a lot more how do you say, more reasons to hate Sonic more than anything, and it just felt more like it's feeling more like the game slowly, just not fully like the game. Obviously, it's not going to be like the game at all, but it's getting there. So it was, and I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it for the most
Your
part.
audio cut out again.
That's interesting. Wow.
Oh, you still there? Oh no, he's gone.
No.
no. Wait, I heard him. He's
I'm sorry.
We hear you.
That my fault.
Oh, you're back.
He's
Okay.
back.
So anywho,
Sorry. Continue.
I'm back. So anywho, so that's what I think.
Okay.
I like
I'm
the
sorry.
hiccups. I don't know why.
Hey, it's live. This is what a true live broadcast is like. I saw Sonic, and I agree with a lot. I think the point you made about it starting to feel more like the games is true, but
I watched on a recent flight I was on. There was a real young girl sitting next to or on the other side of the aisle watching it, and she was enjoying it so much. And I watched like maybe a quarter with no audio of Sonic 2
Just
while this
watching it?
little probably she probably was like 4 or 5 or something, and I was like, she's loving this movie. I love it.
that might be why I liked it so much. I saw it with my daughter. My daughter was on a huge Sonic kick for a while, so she loved it. So
I had headphones on and I was watching my own movie, and because she was enjoying it so much, I was like,
yeah,
watching Jim Carrey.
it's fun. They're doing a good job with it.
Yeah.
All right. So what we got?
Okay, so the With Great Power Award for Best Movie, we have, this is our second official tie between
Really?
The Batman and Everything Everywhere All at Once. So, can I
Interesting.
just say, I'm willing to just back out here. I don't, I,
He doesn't want to argue.
I enjoyed The Batman, but I don't think I could, in good conscience, call a movie the best movie where I really only enjoyed a section of it.
And you'd rather just go with a movie that you haven't even seen yet? Just give it up like that?
Well, when you say it's like the one in
Mixed with
Kung Fu Hustle, it's like I want to see it. And she was in Crouching Tiger. She's awesome. Like I have no problem giving it up.
All right, so we're not even gonna.
Do we
want
want to still make Gamer decide? I mean, that's up to you. I'm not
I guess
even going to
it is
argue.
up to Gamer to decide.
I'm not
so.
even going to argue. So let Gamer decide.
Oh boy. Oh man, that's a tough one.
Man, I don't even know. I'm not even gonna bother then. I think my line of just saying Kung Fu Hustle mixed with the one is probably the simplest
I've
explanation.
got Papa Roach going through the head right now.
There's no Papa Roach. I'm trying to...
Well, because of the one.
soundtrack's actually
because the one I got.
Fair.
That's I don't know.
All right,
I mean,
we're just gonna let you decide. We've already talked about this
Yeah.
one for a while. So based upon what we've said, Metal, what you got? Are you going with
Metal may
Batman?
have loved Batman. He may have loved it. I don't know.
Did you see Batman?
I
Metal?
mean, I haven't seen any of the two.
Oh, I think we lost your audio again. At least.
No, I hear him.
Oh, I wonder if my headset died.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, anywho,
It must have.
no. Yeah, it's
You
pretty.
hear him?
I hear him.
Oh, well, I can't hear nothing.
Oh no.
All right, hold on. We're going to have to
Technical
do a
difficulties.
quick little technical intermission. Uno momento, por favor. We'll get to watch the beautiful CHAZZIE spin for just a moment while I correct this.
Can they still hear us, or did the audio cut out?
It's still going through Discord. I think it's just my headset.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, what's up, y'all?
Do it this way.
So what do you? So what did y'all do today? Oh, nice.
I went out to get some Stevie B's.
You went to wait. I thought Stevie B's closed, or did they move location? Oh no, you live somewhere else. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I live somewhere else, and we have a Stevie B's, so I get to enjoy macaroni and cheese pizza.
You're gonna try and listen to it that way? I have earbuds in my. Do you need? No.
This is good.
I thought you would have charged them before this.
Now is that
They
being,
were charged.
Is that being picked up by the mic?
Oh, yeah.
No, I mean, is this being double picked up because you have audio?
We're good. We're good. We're professionals over here at CHAZZIE Studios. So.
Because now I have two to try.
Well, take the headset out. You don't need it anymore.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Hooray.
All right. Anyway. What you got,
What I
Metal?
was gonna get
Batman
at
or
is-
Everywhere all at once?
So I was kind of like really weirded out by the fact that is that the one with Robert Patterson?
Oh, what the heck? What?
Like,
Oh, Discord through here. You have to mute him.
One
hey, what are
second.
you doing?
My
geez.
laptop just picked up audio, so one sec.
Did I mention we're professionals?
I'm telling you, I like the hiccups. Whatever.
All right, we got plenty of hiccups tonight. Hopefully that's the last one. So go ahead, Metal.
Hopefully. No, I said Robert Patterson was in that one, right?
Yep.
Pattinson.
Pattinson.
Patterson? Well, whatever.
Edward Cullen.
It goes to show you how much I really didn't care about that guy.
He actually wasn't. Just to defend, he wasn't my problem with the movie.
I didn't think he was great.
I didn't think he was great, but I didn't think he was the movie's downfall. I feel like the problem was just direction, where they decided to go with some of the writing. I don't know. I felt like towards the end. Again, go.
All right, let's not milk it though, 'cause we
Yep.
got like 10 more categories.
All right, gamer, make a
Metal,
choice.
make the choice.
When I heard that he was going to be Batman, I was like, oh, no. And I backed off. So I like Kung Fu Hustle, and I like those kind of
Choose
movies.
Crouching
so
Tiger Lady.
If you say it's even remotely even like close to something like that, I would probably pick that guy.
Yeah, I
Everything
agree.
Everywhere. All
That's
at
why I
Once.
backed out, because I don't even want to give it to
All right,
him.
I'm just gonna take the win. Woo! Yay for everything, everywhere, all at once. It really is solid.
Yeah.
Next chance you get. It's kind of hard to watch right now, though. Like there aren't many places I think to watch it. I'm trying to think where I watched it. Oh, I had to like sign up for like a trial for Showtime so I could watch it through something.
Yarr.
Yeah. No,
Oh, that's weird.
I'm not gonna condone piracy. That's on you.
I'm not.
If you're trying to find a legitimate means,
I didn't
not
even say anything. I just had something in my eye,
Yar,
and it was in my eye, and it hurt really badly.
Anyways, it's legitimately hard to watch certain streaming services. Hopefully that will change soon. But regardless, great movie. Check it out.
All right.
All right, we're moving out of movies now, correct? And
Yep.
TV shows.
We are now officially moving into the. Oh, that's something in my throat. We are now
Your
officially
face
moving
was
into.
hilarious.
We're now officially moving into the video game section of our categories. So, to start things off with number 5, we have the Get Over Here award for Best Co-op Game. Do I need to explain that reference?
I hope not.
I hope
so,
if you're watching a
the
video
wrong
game,
podcast.
you're watching a video game podcast. Yeah. All right. So the nominees are, dun, 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 we have Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, we have Nobody Saves the World, and we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. So, Phoenix picked Tiny Tina's. Phoenix, do you wanna answer why you picked it?
Did I pick Tiny Tina's? I forgot. I guess I did.
Yeah, you picked for best co-op game.
Man, I thought I picked Nobody Saved the World.
No, I think we both picked it, and you just had to make a different selection.
That's right.
I enjoyed Nobody Saves the World.
Yeah, I will say this is one of the ones. I can't say this about every category. I played all 3 of these games, and all 3 of them are excellent co-op. So you're not gonna, I think, go bad with any one of them. But Tiny Tina's was a huge surprise to me. I think partially just because at least when Tiny Tina's came out, I think I was coming off of Borderlands 3, which did not leave the best taste in my mouth. It was a little disappointing in that regard. Oh, my computer's, I think, chugging a little bit. Oh, you can do it. You can do it, guy. Maybe you can't. Oh, no. Anyways, Borderlands 3 left kind of a bad taste in my mouth. So Tiny Tina's, I think, going into it, I was a little nervous. But I was very pleasantly surprised. It had that, classic Borderlands gameplay, so that was certainly appealing to me. And just the co-op was really solid. I mean, Borderlands co-op is always good, but this brought back, not quite as cringy a sense of humor, which I think was helpful. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. If you like Borderlands and Borderlands 3 maybe put you off a little bit, this is a nice reintroduction into the series. And co-op, of course, is really solid, so I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so moving on, we have my pick of Nobody Saves the World. Do you want to give you a second to... Oh, okay. For some reason, that Tiny Tina video...
They're skipping out. I think I just got too many things running right now. Keep on going.
Okay, so, yeah, but Nobody Saves the World. I mean, Phoenix, chime in. I mean, we both played this on stream, and I had a boatload of fun. I thought it was super fun, kind of... I don't know, running around the whole unlockable tree of all of the different what was it? They were different characters in this weird kind of medieval world. Was it medieval or no? What kind of world was it?
It was just kind of fantasy, weird. It mixed a lot of different kind of genres. You had some kind of medievally stuff. You had some sci-fi stuff. You had some fantasy. It was all over.
Yeah, it had a really basic story, but it was super fun. I remember I don't think it had I don't have audio dialogue, but it had text, and the text was super funny. I feel like it was written really well for a stupid little humor game. And again, I feel like the whole unlockable tree you have for unlocking all the different type of characters that do things differently in terms of the combat, and also their different abilities gave you ways of getting to the other locations on the map. And the map was the map is super diverse. Each area had a different theming, and it was super cool.
The game itself was good, and I don't want to go too much. I guess we should be focusing on why the co-op was really good.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if I even really did that for Tiny Tina's, but at least kind of chime me in for Nobody Saves the World.
Well, the co-op, because of the cool combinations each person, we could choose.
I want to say there's 16 or 17 classes or something, and that alone, which is one person playing, is a lot to dig into. But when you mix that with another player, kind of combining different classes, it made how you approach each little mini dungeon really interesting. So I think that was really cool to kind of give you a new way to kind of conceptualize the co-op side of things.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all I had to say. So go ahead, Metal, for TMNT Shredder's Revenge.
We played that game together, guys.
Yep.
So... really, I really enjoyed that game a lot, actually. So it just brought back a lot of nostalgia. I really enjoy the arcade versions of the game, or the arcade version of the game. And this one just brought it back a little bit. It was just nice and nostalgic. I think if there was the co-op version, if played smoothly, it was fun. It was just a good time.
Can I just throw in? I remember kind of having fun with it. I mean, I was having fun because we were all playing together, but I feel like my one problem with that game was I remember walking away thinking the music wasn't...
The music wasn't as good.
I don't remember liking much of the music.
No. It wasn't that the music wasn't good. It was, it wasn't the 8-bit music that we were hoping, or 16-bit
Yeah, music it was kind of more modern take on
Yeah, it wasn't the chip tunes. They added some modern instrumentation to it, and I mean, if that's not what you were looking for, if you're looking for just pure nostalgia trip,
I think that's what I was kind of expecting.
Yeah, that's fair.
But the co-op was pretty good. All of the different moves, all of the different things you could do with each other, giggity, really worked out really nicely. So playing it with friends, awesome. Just fun. Pure beat 'em up. Fun.
Okay. All right. So, we're gonna move on to the winner here. Okay. Oh, I forgot to transition to games. Here we go. All right, so now for the winner for the Get Over Here Award, or Best Co-op Game that we played this year. The winner is going to go to Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Congratulations, Phoenix. You are the winner, and let's see, it was actually fairly close. Tiny Tina's won by 1 vote over Shredder's Revenge.
Interesting.
I only had 1 vote for Nobody Saves the World, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's a game that really went under the radar for a lot of people. Like, had you even heard of that game, Metal, the Nobody Saves the World?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The only reason I heard
one of my friends told me about it.
The only reason I heard about it is because when you wanted to play it, is I remember Paris Lilly mentioned it on a kind of funny podcast, and he was enjoying it. And I was like, "Oh yeah, that game Phoenix mentioned." But
yeah, it was surprising, I think, from the co-op side. Like I was interested in the game, but I didn't realize that the co-op itself was going to be so fleshed out like it was. But Tiny Tina's is, I think, a solid choice. If it's Borderlands,
I did have a lot of fun with Tiny Tina's.
Like, I mean, if you're playing, I think Tiny Tina's on your own, it's probably going to get a little old at a certain point because it's more Borderlands.
Do the problems we had at launch play into anything with this? I remember
For Tiny Tina's.
Yeah, I remember we had a lot of troubles in the first week.
We had a lot of problems
getting connectivity. Yeah.
I'll tell you, no, for at least not for me. I think, for one, they didn't even, I think, come to my memory when I was thinking about this game, so they clearly didn't leave a big enough impact. What I remember about this game was playing with you guys. Like, to be fair, we played this game as soon as it came out. Day one is always rough for, any new game. It's going to have some, hiccups and whatnot. And I think at the time we were more frustrated because, of course, we were trying to play the game right then and there. But in hindsight...
It wasn't just an us issue, though. I looked on other... video game YouTubers, and a lot of them are having the same issues.
But that's the case for so many games. I think they got over it pretty quickly. I think within a couple of days, it mostly ironed itself out, and we had plenty of fun with it. We definitely had a lot of time. We got to play together with it, and it was enjoyable. So, solid choice. All 3 of them are great co-op games. So
I feel like they were, all of them were worthy.
All right, moving on.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to our What a Twist Award, or the biggest surprise game of the year, basically, for us. What a Twist. What is that, an M. Night? The M. Night reference?
It's more of a
Robot Chicken.
Yeah, Robot Chicken, M. Night Shyamalan reference.
What a Twist. Okay, so the nominees for the biggest surprise game of the year for us. We have Tinykin, which is one Phoenix talked about, or I think Gamer got to play this one as well. That was one on the podcast. I picked Pokemon Arceus. I think Phoenix would like that pick. Was that one you originally would have picked if not for Tinykin?
Not necessarily. Which this is for the What a Twist Award.
Biggest surprise. I was shocked how much I liked Pokemon.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised by it. But anyways.
Okay. And then Metal picked Kaichu, which was the Kaiju. What was it, like a dating sim?
Yeah, it's a Kaiju dating sim. Why in the world would they have a Kaiju dating sim?
Why not?
Why not?
Definitely one of the weirder choices.
No.
All right, so I picked Tinykin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people talking about that game right now. In the last couple weeks at IGN, I saw a couple people talk about it.
I think what surprised me about it, because I knew what kind of game it was going into. It's a Pikmin style game. I like Pikmin. I've never been huge on Pikmin, so I'm like, well, I'm looking for a small little game to kind of dig into, and I'm like, this might be fun for a few hours. But this takes that Pikmin formula, and I don't know, it fleshed it out in a way that I wasn't expecting, and the world design felt really interesting, the way it kind of just pulled you from place to place. Like, if it wasn't open world by any means, they had the little hub areas, but you could go off in any direction, and then it always pulled you back to where you need to go, which I feel like that's an issue I have with a lot of games that kind of look open at first. You kind of go down a route, get lost, and do a lot of backtracking to figure out where you were doing. This game doesn't really do that. You can be pulled off to an interesting direction, and it always pulls you back where you need to be. So it was a very easy game to play. I think that was probably the terminology I used when we discussed it. It was just a very easy game to get into and play. And I think just because I'm not huge on Pikmin games, it surprised me how much I got into it.
And yeah, I don't want to go too long on Arceus. We've done a lot of talking about Arceus on our podcast.
Oh, we can talk for a few more hours on it.
Yeah. I enjoyed Arceus, man. I felt like what they kind of did with the open world, and we mentioned it, the art style, I've my appreciation for the game has gone up since we've moved on to Pokemon Violet. I loved I feel like the art style. I still think graphically the game was underwhelming, but again, Violet improved that in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of loved what they did with the world. They kind of gravitated away from some of the more memorable things. Like it became less about the being the greatest and winning all the gyms and going to the final
wasn't
four.
about fighting. Yeah.
It was all about being like
It was about
a
collecting.
simple researcher and collecting and I don't know, being a Pokemon person, I guess, at the heart.
Yeah, and I say I don't want to go into a whole another spiel about Arceus or anything, but I think where I've kind of come down to looking at both like Scarlet and Violet and Arceus, there's two different ways to play Pokemon. There's the ones who love the competitive side, they want to battle and fight, and there's those that just like collecting everything. Like for me, my generation, the gotta catch 'em all generation, it's more about collecting for me. Arceus leans into that, I think, side of Pokemon more than Violet does. I think Violet's very competitive, and they definitely do things from that side that Arceus does not do. But it's, I don't know, very two different sides of the same coin.
Arceus, as opposed to Violet, I guess the best word I could think of is it feels very inspired. It definitely feels like, I don't know, someone was trying something slightly different and
different,
also
yeah.
the same. I mean, there's same elements, but it was definitely a turn in the different direction that I appreciate, as opposed to Violet, where I walked away feeling like, oh, I'm just, gotta do the Pokedex, gotta win the Final Four. I don't know.
All right, give us Kaichu. Why'd you choose that one, Metal?
Because I didn't expect it. I played a lot of different dating sims before. I like dating sims. I think they're super fun. They're corny as hell, and they're just, you play one, and then before you know, you kind of figure out a lot of the others. But what made this one different was that they made this into an adventure game. So like, it's like, oh, cool. So I get to walk around this like world, looking for the lovers, which obviously, they're pretty wide open. It's not. There's nothing super special because you can easily find the person in each city, and then all you have to do is just try to woo the other person, and you can woo whatever you want, but your decisions make an impact on who you get to choose.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love the art style. The art style is super bubbly, super cutesy. The music is interesting too. So it came down to that as well. The gameplay was simple. Once you beat it, that's pretty much it. You're just like, you know what? I'm pretty satisfied with this. This is corny as hell. It was good.
Oh.
So I really enjoyed it for the most part. I'm sure not a lot of people have played it yet, but not a lot of people would be like, "Oh, I want to play a dating sim."
Well, you
Especially
guys,
one like that.
picked very off the beaten path games, and I picked probably the largest
A little more
games, the
mainstream.
mainstream.
Like
yeah.
Tinykin, I think got some publicity or marketing out there, but not nearly as much as Arceus and Kaichu. I mean, and if you would have never mentioned it, Metal, I would have never even heard of it. So
Okay.
It just came up on one of the Game Pass things.
So, our winner, of the What a Twist Award, or biggest surprise, game we were not expecting to enjoy so much. And this one it's actually an interesting one because we actually had majority of the people who voted did not play any of these games. And my selection of Pokemon Arceus, I forgot to open the card.
the card that, by the way, has absolutely nothing.
It does. You can't see it. It's written in I don't know, in white. I don't know.
You're written white, invisible.
Just like your heart.
So our winner is Pokemon Arceus by a very narrow margin. And again, the majority of people that voted did not play any of these three games.
Yeah.
A large percentage.
I can get behind that. I mean, once again, talked a lot about Arceus, but it was surprising to me too. I had fallen off Pokemon a lot over the past decade or so. I mean, you get older and you stop playing certain games, so I'd gotten away from the series a lot. Arceus just, and here's the thing, I was not anticipating Arceus or was excited about it, but I was like, on a whim, let's try it out, and it definitely was not what I was expecting.
It was totally one of those. For me, it was like a FOMO buy because you had bought it and a couple other people were buying it, and I'm like,
I'm highly influential.
I gotta play this. So, okay, so we're moving on to our final, for the first half, our final category. We have the Not Enough Hours Award, or Games I Wish I Had Played Award. So, the nominees are Live Alive, which is actually one I really wanted to play as well, never got around to. One or Phoenix picked Live Alive. I picked the Callisto Protocol, which is a very recent release, just within the last few weeks. And Metal picked Elden Ring, the gigantic From Software game that is.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, From Software. It's a little company. But yeah, that game won Game of the Year, so that's an interesting pick. So I guess Phoenix picked Live Alive. This is one I agree. I had really wanted to play this one at some point. This is the one with the different like time frames, right?
Yeah, so I've been wanting for a while to play. They've been doing like these kind of modernized retro RPGs for a little while. Like started like Octopath Traveler, and they had Triangle Strategy, and then you had this one. So they're kind of like, this one was just a straight up remake, right? This was a PS1 game. If I recall.
It was originally never came to the U.S. I think.
Was that what
from
it was?
What I understand, it was originally an only Japanese release, and it recently just. I think I could be wrong. I'm sorry.
Well, regardless, I think what I found interesting about one, it had that kind of art style that I've been curious about for a while now to kind of see, how well it translated. And I really did like the whole idea of it's got, 7 different characters that aren't just like 7 characters in the same game, but they have completely different like timelines or time frames that they're taking part in and styles. Even like the game changes a little bit. So I thought that was just a really unique thing that I never played this game back in the day, especially if it was, not localized or anything. So yeah, it seemed like a good game to kind of get into from a nostalgic retro perspective. So yeah, one day maybe.
Yeah.
Sounds exactly like Octopath Traveler.
It
Octopath Traveler,
like
you play
it,
like 10 different people.
but they're all in the same world. I mean, I think all these in Live Alive, they all connect at some point, but like you have one person that's in, I think like feudal Japan, you have one that's in like the future, and then one that like they're a completely different time. One's like prehistoric, and all these different characters somehow, I don't know, merged together. Not exactly sure how yet, but anyways, interested in that one.
Okay, so my pick, and I feel like I should throw in there that this is one of the first ones where I feel like I would have changed my pick based on reviews. Because I
too easily swayed.
I if you don't know, I'm a huge fan of the Dead Space series. Love Dead Space, especially Dead Spaces 1 and 2. It's one of my favorite horror, I guess, game series. And yeah, if you don't know, this game was developed by I forgot the name of the company, but it was the guy that left Dead Space, who was one of the main devs. He went on to open up his own development company, and he is in charge of this project, basically.
Gotcha.
And I don't know, from what I hear, they kind of with this game got some things wrong. Well, I wish I'd played it. I'm a huge Dead Space fan. I like horror games. I kind of wanted to see where this guy went with this new title and what direction he decided to do with it. Plus, it's in space. Space horror, like that's like my bag. But yeah, Callisto Protocol. I guess I should say if I would have changed, I really wanted to play the new Call of Duty this year. This is the first year in a while I kind of wanted to play Call of Duty.
Really?
But that's only because after hearing about the reviews from Callisto. I probably still would go with Callisto if I had never read the reviews.
Well, you already put your vote in. So
it's already in, so whatever. All right, so Elden Ring. Go ahead, Metal.
Yeah. I'm behind all the... Obviously,
From Software, that's it.
Game, but... What?
No, I said From Software.
Just because you don't like it, Chaz, doesn't mean...
No, I was saying you should just say From Software, that's it.
Yeah, right. End of story. Bill Clinton? What? Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he's in Elden Ring?
DLC.
I saw a GIF on that, by the way. But anywho, beyond the point. So... Yeah, I wanted to play this. I'm very interested in playing it. I really do like Souls-like games. I know those are the type of games that, you have to be in the mood to play. I do want to play it, though. I've been looking at them, looking at reviews, and I just really would like to try it. I played Sekiro, and I really enjoyed Sekiro a lot.
Did you finish it?
I went halfway through, and I had to do other things.
I heard Sekiro was so hard. I heard a lot of people say that game was freaking brutal.
It was the first boss took me a while. Then when you got it, then you go to the next one, and then you start figuring out how to get around. So it's kind of like, all right, well, this is pretty neat. But anywho, if this is anything like that, I really want to play more. I want to play it. I don't care how many times I die.
I've gone back and forth, and if I want to play Elden Ring, like at first I was really jazzed for it, and I'm like, I
You
don't
can
have
always
time
borrow
for.
mine.
Part of it's just I know it's a huge game. It
That's
takes a
only
lot for me to really kind of budget my mind. Okay, am I ready to go ahead and put this much time sink into a game like that?
It's the typical, like, not typical. It's the, like, for me, the attractiveness of the From Software games, their worlds and themes and stuff, their lore is so cool to me. So I'm always disappointed. For me, it's the gameplay that kind of gets me, and I have a feeling if I like really dug in, maybe there's a way to kind of push through. But
Maybe
their worlds are cool, man. They developed, like, that Armored Core game looks awesome.
because that's a Souls like, right? Right.
Oh yeah,
Your most viewed video.
Yeah.
most, yeah, sure.
I'm looking forward to that one too. But anyway,
All right, so what do we got?
That's my club.
All right, so the winner for the Not Enough Hours Award, or games I wish I had played, we have, by a landslide. This is our first, like, not even competitive. We have Elden Ring. Elden Ring by
Oh my
far was
God.
our winner of the Not Enough Hours Award. So
Yeah, I'm not too surprised with that one, to be honest.
the gameplay, I think, unfortunately, the gameplay kind of, I don't want to say it makes it niche. It's not niche, but like the gameplay, I feel like for some people might maybe like by word of mouth, it scares people off. You know what I mean? Maybe to an
Maybe I
extent.
mean that might be
The
part
size of the game could also do it.
That's I think at least for me. Like I'm not worried about the gameplay. I mean I might hate it, might love it. I don't know. But just knowing how big of a game it is, that's always kind of put it on the horizon for me. But either way.
Okay. Oh, we're on to I'd say my most anticipated part of it. I'm very excited.
Our musical intermission. So we're gonna go ahead, take a moment, switch over some settings, and then when we come back, you'll get to be your ears tickled by the fabulous Super
Be
Metal
prepared
Gamer.
to hear the theme song from my channel, basically on the podcast and on all of my normal videos. It's a song I'm very happy I picked.
All right, hang tight. When you hear the music, prepare to rock out.
Mm.
That was incredible.
Incredible.
Woo, Super Metal Gamer.
Was that 100% Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
You didn't miss a note?
Oh, that was great. That was fabulous, man. Yeah, if you haven't yet, check down the description. You'll have links to Metal's different musical, how you want to look at this, expeditions? I don't know.
He's so talented. He has many many bands. He's so good.
Yeah, check it out. We got some Bandcamp links down in the description, so check it out for both of Metal's bands he's in, Saurus and Snake Healer.
And Snake Healer, yep.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that intermission.
And where can they find some of your music? I know Bandcamp. I know on some YouTube, you can find some of your stuff. Anywhere else?
Yeah, you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify, Bandcamp, and yeah, I think that's it. Those are the main ones.
Cool.
Apple Music. You can find us on Apple Music.
Yeah, and if you're ever in the South Florida area, I know you play quite a few shows down here on occasion, so hopefully if you're in somewhere in the general vicinity, you can check out one of his live shows. They are always a lot of fun.
That song is copyright EnteR ChazmaN. No, I'm kidding.
You might even see EnteR ChazmaN at one of those shows.
Oh,
yeah.
Get your signature.
Yeah, like you should ask me about using that song for anything.
Yeah, you just stole it anyway.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
That was fun.
So we're at the halfway mark. I know you guys are enjoying everything thus far. Hang in there with us. We got another, 7 more categories? But we're getting to the big stuff.
7 more categories.
Game of the Year is coming up. Some of the also more interesting category names.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, no.
All right, what we got?
All right, so we're going to move on to our first category for the second half. We have one I really like the name of it. We have the Arrow to the Knee Award, or the biggest disappointment game. Again, should I Arrow to the Knee? It's a Skyrim reference.
They get it.
There you go.
Get it.
Skyrim.
They get it.
Elder Scrolls.
Nominees.
So our nominees are picked by Metal. We have Saints Row 2022. Picked by Phoenix, we have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and picked by me, we have Elden Ring. And I guess in the quotations here we have because ChazmaN sucks.
Yes.
So.
Sucks at games.
Yeah.
For real.
So Metal, why don't you, if you didn't see, we on our podcast, there are videos up of us covering Saints Row, basically every game here we've talked about. So go ahead, Metal. Why did you not like Saints Row? Or disappointment, not.
Yeah, disappointed does not mean worst game, but it means something that just didn't quite meet your expectations.
Something you went into where you were like, oh, I'm in the mood for this, or I really want to play it, I guess.
Yeah, so playing a little bit more on it, the dialogue just didn't stick to me very well. I really enjoy Saints Row the Third. If obviously we've already talked about this, if you can check it on the other podcast. But
I enjoyed Saints Row 4 too.
But
I don't know.
What's up?
I enjoyed 4 as well. I mean, I felt like that was a fun one. Not as good as 3.
I mean, yeah, it's not terrible. It wasn't terrible, but it was fine. It was just no 3. But in this case, this one just it shot and it completely missed. Like they tried, it wasn't good. I just everything about it, from the dialogue down to like the story. That story is the dialogue. The visuals were okay, I guess, and it just overall just wasn't very good. It was just not very good.
Fair.
Wasn't a fan.
All right, fair enough.
Oh shoot,
No, you're good. Then the next one's mine, right? Pokemon Scarlet.
And Violet. Sorry, I was looking at something else for a second.
I'm gonna do everybody a favor and not milk this Pokemon discussion a whole lot longer. I think we've already run down.
We have an entire 45-minute video of us talking about it.
I think it's no secret now that I quite preferred Arceus in comparison to Scarlet and Violet. I understand, I think I mentioned this, that, it's not like I expected all the things I loved about Arceus to just show up inside of Scarlet and Violet. Like, I understand.
Coming off a big high with that one.
Well, big high, and also I understand the development time. A lot of the stuff I liked about Arceus is probably going to show up in a future game. Maybe find a middle ground. But
better, hopefully.
Hopefully, but I don't know. Scarlet and Violet did not scratch the itch the same way Arceus did, so I'll just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Elden Ring, the worst possible choice someone could have made.
I will 100% say, I guess this is a completely biased pick. I'm not a fan of the gameplay. Again, I love the story. Like I do think at some point next year I'm going to give Elden Ring a chance. And from what I understand, even our buddy a Straw Hat on one of our previous podcast episodes even said, he said play it with play it with a guide. That was my problem, is like I feel like I didn't know where I should go to get the upgrades that would benefit my character, and like man, if you don't know where to go or what to do, you just get whaled in that game. And I don't know, I spent an hour on the first boss, and I have a feeling you're not meant to go and try and fight whoever that guy was.
To be fair, I think I just read or saw somewhere that Elden Ring was simultaneously the game that was the most beaten game and the game that most people retired from or quit throughout the year. So not only did it get completed the most, people also gave up on it the most. So I think it is divisive in that sense. I do feel like they made a big kind of effort to push. This game is a lot more, what's a good way to say this, easier to go and get into the Souls-like gameplay. I know there's a lot of things the reviewers were saying, whether it be because it was easier to level up or, overpower yourself a little bit to get used to it. And I think maybe that gave some people some overconfidence that they were all of a sudden going to be able to beat a Souls game.
And I also heard there are some classes that you choose to start the game off that are
just harder than others.
Yeah,
that's fair. So I get your decision on it. I think it's just considering how much praise Elden Ring has got.
I bought it day one, and to be fair, I did not sell my copy. I try not to be an a-hole and run back to GameStop and sell it. I kept it, and I was like, I'll take the burn on that. Whatever. I feel like, I don't know, I didn't want to be a jerk. Plus, it's in my collection.
So. All right. So, what is the winner of the most disappointing game? Arrow to the knee.
So, I think this is not think. I want to say think because I think this is our final tie that we have here for the Arrow to the Knee Award for biggest disappointment. We have a tie between Saints Row and Elden Ring.
Really?
Oh
yes.
Gosh.
Pokemon Violet
That's
was that Saints Row and Elden Ring. It was kind of close, but those two kind of took and didn't play. It was about the same as the other ones. So.
I'm very surprised that Elden Ring got so many votes. I mean, I guess I get it. I give you such a hard time about picking that one. So. All right, so you guys are having to convince me?
Yes.
Ooh,
try and convince you why to pick Saints Row or Elden Ring. So you want to go first, gamer?
Oh man, I suppose.
I'll give you the 30 seconds.
Unless you want me to
one.
go first, if you think it'll give you a better.
Well, someone's got 30
Not
seconds. We're counting down now.
No, I'm starting. So like, character-wise, it wasn't very good. You can easily tell like they diverted so much from what the original or at least the cheeky gameplay that was in 3 and 4 that this one was just kind of like a wash. It's like they were trying hard to get away from that. Don't know why, but they were. It was just not good. No penetrator.
All right.
Okay. So my turn.
Your turn.
Wait, tell me when.
Go.
Go ahead. Okay, so Elden Ring for me, I mean, I'm going to reiterate on many of the same points.
I don't care. I'm picking Serrano's in.
What a jerk. Once again, biggest disappointment for me, mainly because of ease of entry. Ease of entry, I feel like it's not that good in terms of like just being an approachable game. I have a feeling when you dig into it, it's probably amazing, but I don't know. I just didn't understand what to do, where to go. The game shows you how to parry and block and attack, and it's like...
That's all you need. That's kidding.
Yeah, whatever.
Raise the sun?
All right, go ahead and pick Saints Row.
I'll do this a little biased just because Saints Row 3 was a game that me and Metal played a lot in co-op, and I have a lot of good memories of that game, so it would be easy, I think, to disappoint me if another Saints Row game didn't live up to that.
With Elden Ring winning Game of the Year.
I think I am... And I get what you're saying. I mean, I do get the approachability. I think the style of the way you and me play games is a little different, so I don't think I would run to the same hurdle as you did, but I mean, that's yet to be seen. I think just my natural inclination, just knowing the Saints Row franchise like I do, and where it was, and what they're trying to do with it, I would lean with Metal.
I was so disappointed by it that I want to give it a shot. Like, I want to try and have the game change my mind. So again, I'm going to replay it, but...
Fair enough. Well, it looks like the winner we're going with is Saints Row 2022. Congratulations, or not, for the Arrow to the Knee Award. So,
there you go.
This
for-
is
there you go.
one that I haven't had a dishonorable mention for in a while, so I'm just gonna throw this in, which some people might be mad at me about, but Horizon Forbidden West was pretty disappointing for me. And here's the thing: it's not that it was a bad game; it's actually a great.
I remember you saying it was very samey. It
That's
just felt
it.
like more of the same.
The game itself is really good from a technical perspective. It looks great. It plays great. The story's fine. I'll tell you, this is one of those things where it is definitely just more of the same, but not in a good way. I feel like everything this game does, although it's a little bit better, it doesn't justify itself needing a sequel. And maybe the part that's the narrative. I mean, depending on how much you grasp onto the narrative of a game and where they take it, that's going to really, I think, gauge your decision on it. But either way, I'm not saying this is a bad game, but it definitely let me down. So there, dishonorable mention.
Cool. Okay, so now we're going to move on to category number 9. We have the Heck of a Drug Award, or our most cathartic video game experience for the year. So, I guess this is just the kind of game that you could we all felt like you could kind of zone out on, right? You kind of play it, kind of enjoy it, feel the theme, or I don't know, kind of melt into it maybe a little bit.
It's kind of the game that you kind of just like zone out on, or like, you know, like you get that dopamine hit where just like, you know, the numbers pop up on the screen, the pretty lights, and just, you know, you get that little tickle in your brain like, this is why I play video games kind of thing. So it's not about, you know, the narrative being the best or the biggest technical marvel. It's just got that kind of X factor that you can just play. So
okay. And the nominees we have are Vampire Survivors, Rogue Genesis or Rogue Genesia?
Genesia.
Genesia, okay.
Yeah.
So Rogue Genesia, and we have Pokemon Arceus. So Phoenix picked Vampire Survivors, MetalGamer chose Rogue Genesia, I picked Pokemon Arceus. So go ahead, take it away, Phoenix.
And Vampire Survivors. If you haven't played this, which I'd be surprised
I've been playing it on my phone.
Yeah, I think it just went to mobile now, so you really don't have an excuse. It's super simple. We talked about it a little bit in the podcast. All you do is move, but I don't know. It's definitely got the bullet hell kind of style with crazy lights and crazy numbers, and it just definitely, as it tickles that spot. It's simple gameplay, but something you can just get lost in and play for. I mean, it's only a 30-minute run each time. I can tell you how many times I'll die and immediately go into another one. I'll just keep playing and playing and playing. So
I'm just noticing what you mentioned earlier. We have, for this category, we have 2 games that are like the same exact game. Isn't that funny?
Yeah,
It's almost the same. Yeah.
I didn't realize this. Metal, why don't you go ahead and talk about Rogue?
Sorry, I didn't want to mean to cut you
No,
off from
it's-
your vampire.
That's all I wanted to say.
There's not much to say. That's how cool it is. I don't know.
It's different skins, different things, I guess. Not really. It's just different 8-bit stuff. But it's a lot more of that, just craziness. But I don't think this, from what I remember, didn't give you 10 minutes of running. I think it only gave you like 2-minute runs. And like anything else, the technical portion of it would be, you know.
Well, Vampire, it could be like 30-minute, right?
Yeah, Vampire goes up to 30. I think what I didn't realize until I pulled up gameplay for Rogue, it looked, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Metal, this is like identical to Vampire Survivors.
It's just a different angle on the camera.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Which
like a
one came
clone.
out first? I gotta assume it's Vampire Survivors. I'm sure
I'm
Rogue.
gonna say Vampire. It's hard
Yeah,
to
this-
say. I think this one came out like, very recently actually.
Vampire Survivors, I still think technically it's still in early access, isn't
In
it?
early stages.
Rogue Genesia launched in August.
Yeah, Vampire Survivors was before that. I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
So is this a case of Rogue Genesia just ripped off Vampire Survivors? Because come on, it is like
It could
identical.
be.
You got the gems on the ground. The
Vampire Survivors, December of last year.
okay, so
Like yeah. So
so
it could be a copycat clone.
yeah, which is interesting. So
Well, we don't want to throw anything.
oh come on,
At Rogue
I mean,
Genesia.
my gameplay's been a little jumpy, so I don't want to throw it on the stream. But you can kind of tell like
Really?
they follow almost identical gameplay mechanics. They both have the gems. The enemy behaviors and the patterns are the same. I'm assuming all you do in this game is you move around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they ripped that off Vampire
And then you
Survivors.
can pick your when the round's over, you pick new things or add new things.
You
Whatever,
can't attack
and
the
then
other
just-
nominees. That's not.
I'm not trying to. I don't know. It makes it tricky because okay, so I don't know. They stole the game. I don't know. It feels odd to have it as.
So
I
just
mean, do
back-
they improve upon it? Is
so
it
just
better?
back down and go with my selection.
I'm
then.
not doing it. All right, go ahead and talk about Arceus. Not that we need to talk about Arceus a whole lot more.
No, I'm not going to talk. It was cathartic for me because I very much enjoyed kind of walking around in open spaces, and I don't know, like the added ways that you could like just kind of interact with Pokemon is what I appreciated. You didn't just Pokemon pops up battle. It's like, you could either do that or you could just walk around and just throw Pokeballs at them and do a lot of the. Remember in the original games there was the Safari zones, and this felt like just like an open world Safari zone. Like they really treated it like that, and you could you battle them, or you could try and throw food at them, distract them, throw rocks at them, do all the normal stuff, and I don't know. That was it. I enjoyed kind of walking around and just having a different way to interact with Pokemon, and yeah, that's it.
I think that's what I think Violet missed too, is they took away the ability just to chuck a ball, which seems like such a small thing, but you can only interact with the Pokemon in Violet by throwing a ball to attack it first, and then you can try to capture. Like the fact that in Arceus you could just take a ball, chuck it, just take food and chuck it, made it, I think you're right, a little more cathartic, a little simpler just to kind of interact with the world and the Pokemon. So I like the fact
that they attack you. If you like go near them, they come at you like, oh crap, they're gonna do something. And it's like,
and they straight up hurt you as the trainer. They're not hurting your Pokemon, they're coming after you.
Exactly, they're hurting you, which is crazy. It's like, that's not good. So,
all right.
Anyway,
who takes home the coveted golden CHAZZIE?
All right, so the winner of the Heck of a Drug Award, or our most cathartic game, goes to Pokemon Arceus, and mine was kind of a blowout. Yeah, mine by far was the most. It also could be it's mainstream and it's a big title. Maybe it's the game most people got to play, but
I am actually really surprised by that. And I love Arceus, so I'm not surprised that's a good game, but I'm surprised it won this category. Like, really? I get what you're saying, being kind of cathartic, but I don't know. For me, it's not like Vampire Survivors is like, it hits that cathartic dopamine hit differently than Arceus does. But I guess we all kind of define,
Well, you're wrong.
Okay, I lost. I get it.
I also think that not a lot of people would play these type of roguelike games like that. Like,
maybe Vampire Survivors has gotten pretty popular. I don't know. You might be right. Maybe it was a little too niche for a lot of people on Pokemon.
I'm thinking so.
All right, I snuck in a dishonorable mention. I know I've talked about this one a little bit.
Oh, Power Wash.
Power Wash Simulator.
I remember you talking about
this one was chill. Yeah. Just going around, doing a little bit of cleaning with that Power Wash. You get to clean a playground or a gymnasium or a house.
Should have added Smoking Simulator.
Oh yeah, no. Let's keep on going.
That's not cathartic. That's total anarchy there.
Oh, that's a deep cut right there.
You know, if you want to Power Wash my house, I'll let you do it.
Just throw on a VR headset, make them actually clean your house without knowing it.
He gives you a pair of goggles, and I'm just out there.
Here you go, pal. Have fun.
All right, moving along.
All right, so we have now for our next category, we have the Tree Fitty Award for biggest ripoff. Now, Tree Fitty.
Get the reference? If you don't get it,
gosh darn, Loch Ness Monster.
There it is.
That's South Park. That is the lovely older couple from the. I actually remember the episode. It was the Succubus episode. The Succubus episode from season 2. I think.
Yeah, it was early.
It was very early. But me and friends at work used to say that I did about Tree Fitty.
Yeah, Tree Fitty.
Yeah. So our nominees are these. I will say because these were biggest ripoffs, the nominees we chose, we were very specific into the why it was a ripoff. So, my pick was Gotham Knights' PC Steam release. Gotham Knights. Phoenix picked, I think a lot of people would agree, Diablo Immortal's monetization model. Mm-hmm. And then Metal picked Saints Row 2022 for, well, all of it. So, I will go first. Unfortunately, I kind of talked about how I was trying to be nice so much to Elden Ring that I kept the game. Granted, I kept the physical for that because it was a functioning game. It just wasn't gelling with me. But unfortunately, this is the first time I've ever on Steam seeked out
Sucked out?
Suck
No.
out.
I don't think that's the right wording for that one, Chad.
I seeked out a refund for the Gotham Knights PC version. I've got an okay PC. I don't have anything incredible, but like on any 1080, any whatever, anything I tried, every visual setting, I could not get the game to run at a good rate. So I ended up getting a refund, and I ended up getting a console version, and it ran really good. It ran much better, which, unfortunately, that's kind of how it goes. I mean, I know, PC gaming is tough, and I had the same issue with Arkham Knight when that came out.
Yeah.
I should have gotten a refund for that one, but I ended up waiting a week or two for them to patch it and played it. But, yeah, it ran bad. That's, I can't really frame it any worse. The frame rate was bad. The hiccups were just not good.
At least you got a refund on it, though. So I mean,
I felt bad. I don't like getting a refund, but if I can't play it, I can't play it.
I'll tell you. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily always categorize a ripoff, but this is one reason I kind of, at least in recent years, have weaned off PC gaming a little bit. You run into these issues
for the most part. Console
often
experiences are solid.
Yeah, well, they always.
Sometimes
I found that usually the developers seem to prioritize making the game for the consoles because that's the more mainstream option. So it's also one configuration, right? If it works on one PS5, it should work on every PS5, right? PC is not the case. Everybody's PC is different.
And I understand my pick due to the nature of it kind of makes it more of a niche opinion because there may be people who played it. The people who just bought it yesterday, and I'm sure it's a great experience. You know what I mean?
And some people could got day one on PC, but their rig was different and they didn't have any issues. So I mean, no, that's a tricky one. I feel like any PC port that doesn't play well feels like a ripoff. If you're the
only reason I added is because it seemed like a pretty widespread thing. Like a lot of people were having the issue. I wouldn't have thrown it in there if I was the only one having an issue. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right.
Do I need to say anything about Diablo Immortal?
No, you don't.
This one's such a shame, though, because I honestly really enjoyed playing Diablo Immortal, which I think is what most people did, but the fact that it was so egregious, which is concerning for Diablo 4 and pretty much anything else that, Activision Blizzard puts out. But
I stopped playing Immortal when it started to level gate me, when it was like, okay, you need to... Now, granted, I'm not talking about the monetization, but, like, I don't know, the game just wasn't all there for me, and I was still enjoying. I didn't even look at any of the monetization stuff. I just wasn't interested.
I still had stuff to do in the game. Like the game actually has a good amount of content to it, but I think it's like once you realize what they're doing with the monetization model, you kind of see it on the horizon, eventually coming at you, and it just kind of takes the wind out of your sails. And I think I happened to me at one point, but I think I saw it happen on my friends first. And I'm like, this isn't gonna be fun to play after so long. So yeah. Disappointing. Hopefully we don't see that in Diablo 4.
Yeah. So Gamer doesn't have to say much. He's already talked about Saints Row, but was there any particular aspect about it being a ripoff other than it was just really bad for you?
Well, if we're talking about ripoff as a money-wise, sure. Like, if you pay full price for this game, what a joke.
Yeah.
I at least got it at a discount, and I still feel ripped off after paying, like, $10.
It went in bargain bin quick. I feel like within a few weeks, I was already seeing it half price.
I was already seeing it like 20. Yeah. When it gets to 30 in like the first like 2-3 weeks of a game, you're like, oh crap.
Pretty much.
It's a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So who's taking home the prize?
So the winner for the Tree Fitty Award, or biggest ripoff game of the year for us, we have Phoenix with Diablo Immortal and the monetization. It was kind of close between that and Saints Row, but Diablo pulled it out.
Yeah, I think the rationale for that one's pretty obvious. So, once again, really hoping we don't see issues like that.
Plus,
in Diablo
a game
4.
like that reaches a huge audience with the mobile. The mobile aspect really spreads it around.
Well, the thing is too, like, so I mean, we all play mobile games, but a lot of us don't get into mobile games often. Especially the ones that have the crazy monetization model.
Vampire Survivors is the most I've gotten into one in a while.
The point being, that doesn't have like some crazy monetization. I guess what I'm thinking of, like, the mobile games that end up with, like, they're backed by the whales and the crazy kind of monetization stuff. Most of us probably aren't super involved in those kind of games. Diablo is the first kind of franchise, I think, to pull in so many non-familiar people with that kind of monetization model and suck them in. And I think that was just really disheartening when people realized what they were kind of being sucked into. But I'm revisiting done topics. I already won. Yeah.
Yeah. You won. You win this time.
All right, moving on.
Okay, so moving on to our next topic. I'm used to the podcast. Our next category is the hey listen. Oh, you should have had your phone out for that.
Oh, sorry.
That's his your text tone, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Still is.
But yeah, hey listen award for the most annoying game mechanic. So that means you think Navi is annoying?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Very cathartic.
Okay. All right, so
I thought it was an angelic voice.
Yeah. The nominees are by Metal, he picked Signalis, the shooting and aiming on controller. I picked Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's co-op system. And Phoenix picked Dreamlight Valley's landscaping, I'm guessing mechanic of some sort. Okay, gamers, so why was the shooting and aiming in Signalis so interesting on the controller? Or not, not interesting.
You ever played a game on keyboard and mouse that it felt right? Mm-hmm. Then you go on a controller hoping that they fix it, that you'd be feeling good. And it just was just not fun. Like,
wasn't it just
take controls? You always have to think every time you have to do it.
Shouldn't it just been a tank controls?
When I was trying to play this game on controller for a little while, and the shooting and aiming function in this was just so not good. Like, it was very bad. That I decided I turned off my controller and just started playing keyboard and mouse because of how obnoxious it is. You have to run, and you have these like zombie things that chase after you after a while, and some of them are a little quicker than others. And if you're not, you only have but like 3 bullets or so, give or take, on you. So your ammo is very scarce. So shooting and aiming is like one of the more important things here, because if you miss, you're kind of screwed up. So in my opinion, the controller scheme for this one was just not bueno.
I think didn't translate well.
I think you can do like 2 other controller schemes. I haven't tried them, but I don't know if I'm ever going to try them at all. I think I'll just keep playing it keyboard and mouse.
Interesting.
So,
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's co-op system, which is what I picked. Lack of Phoenix. Feel free to pitch or chime in. I didn't feel like I joined your game or you joined my game. If I couldn't have heard you through the headset, I would have never known you were even there. Other than the periodic Phoenix picked up, I don't know what's a Pokemon.
Yeah,
Pikachu. I don't know what, but I didn't think it was really all that worth it to really play in co-op. I mean, other than you just see the notifications, you really don't have an effect on each other's game. At least from what I
would you say
saw.
That's annoying though, or just disappointing?
That's probably disappointing. Maybe.
I get what you're saying. Like, it was definitely a mechanic I don't feel like was fleshed out.
It was annoying
very
because
well.
it was just annoying just having someone there and then not being able to like
do anything with them,
interact with them, or do anything. Apparently there was some emoting in the game. I never saw it, but I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's
I don't have much to say. There just wasn't much to do. I mean, you could have done some of the little raiding battles, but
I don't know if you could.
Really?
I don't know if you could do it in the co-op mode. I could be wrong. I mean, I know you can raid with other people, but I don't know if they have to be in your team or not. I don't know. It could have been we didn't dig enough into it.
The open world sucked. I would never have known you were there if it wasn't for some notifications popping up. That's all that mattered to me,
All right, fair enough. Dreamlight, I won't spend a lot of time on. I feel like it's probably a little niche, I think, for maybe a lot of people who listen to our chat. I don't know. My wife is so huge in this game. I'm sure she would yell at me. Landscaping might be the wrong name for the mechanic. It's basically just like, where you can like place stuff either out in the world or move stuff around your house, got the furniture placement, decorating, whatever it may be. The controls just didn't make sense. Like, you had the one stick that would move the camera, the other that would move the item, and it didn't gel right. Other games have done it so much better, like you think about, Animal Crossing, what have you. I feel like that should have been the template, and this game just did its own thing and didn't quite gel for me. So, there.
Okay. All right, so the next very, very happy person who's going to be with this super awesome trophy, we have, or I should say company, maybe I should say company. But the what do we have? We have the Hey Listen Award for most annoying game mechanic, and the winner is. I'm actually kind of shocked by this one. This was Dreamlight Valley, and it wasn't close.
Really?
Yes, Dreamlight Valley won this by a landslide.
I didn't realize people even played it.
That's why I'm so shocked that it won, is because I didn't even... You're the only person I knew who played the game.
I do remember. Didn't you get like one comment on the video who was really mad that I was like down talking Dreamlight? Like one person.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Oh, maybe there's more Dreamlight fans out there than I thought. The game is good. Maybe I came off really harsh at it. Maybe
it's Disney. Maybe I'm sure kids somehow that game probably got advertised to them somehow, and we just fell under the radar.
Controls are wonky. So, but I won. Yeah. All right.
Okay, so, dude, we are in the home stretch. We've got 3 left.
All right.
So yeah, let's keep on going. Let's see. We've got the Great Scott Award, or the best non-2022 game we played this year. Great Scott. Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm. Like time traveling reference.
I hate
surprise. Wow, it's so great.
I hate to like expel it, but just in case, I don't know.
Wow. But now you ruin it for everybody who's trying to like get bonus points in the chat. Be like, I know that reference.
I love Shrek.
I love Shrek. Somebody once told me. Okay. So I will actually say, before I just name off the nominees, this is probably in my opinion, so far, maybe the best like collection of games. I think, in my opinion, between all of the categories, where like all 3 of these are like grade A games to me. These are some of my favorite like experiences for games. And
to be fair, I mean the pool of games is a lot wider here. Like 2022 was a slim year for games. There were some highlights, but I mean, I feel like as far as the pool you could have chose from, there's only like a handful of like solid games. For this category, we want to think about games that maybe we'd missed over the past few years, or kind of return to our catalog of like current games we're playing, and any game could fall into this. So I think you have a lot more quality games to choose from.
So our Phoenix picked Returnal. I played that for the first time this year as well, and that was a great experience. That definitely was up there for me as well. I went with the game I played for my Halloween stream, the game Soma, or one of my Halloween streams. Great experience. Loved it. Metal went with Diablo 3, which I'm kind of shocked. I mean, we've been playing Diablo 3 for like ever now, but
I took a break for a while though. I'm assuming.
But I feel like we've gone back and forth like a bunch. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just shocked. Metal, like I'm shocked that's when he like finally got around to playing.
I don't think it's that he came around to playing. I think it's more it's a game that you kind of brought back into your gaming repertoire, right?
Oh, is that the case?
Yeah, because we played Diablo 3 way back when it came out. So I think it's just it's kind of just re-entered your gaming spectrums. And I guess, I'll let you explain it.
Does that count? I don't know. Should it have been a new game? Or we didn't actually put it...
We didn't clarify. To be fair, so I mean, I'll go and talk about Returnal. I don't think technically I played Returnal for the first time
so that
this
was
year.
I
think I played it into last year, so I'm maybe fudging this just a little bit. But out of the games that were not officially released in 2022 that I either played or replayed, this one stuck out higher. Honestly, I think I almost want to think I found a new refound appreciation for Returnal I didn't even have when I first played it. Like, I really loved it the first time, but with this new kind of run through, with the co-op we went through, I thought it was...
I really enjoyed the co-op. Yeah, it was a great game. Oh, that's all you had to say? You're good?
Yep.
Okay. So I picked the game Soma. I'm not going to say a heck of a whole lot. I mean, we did an entire half hour, I think it was 35-minute long video of us talking about how great it was, but super interesting game. It touched on a lot of interesting sci-fi themes, a lot of interesting trying to think just things that are super typical of sci-fi, like what is life, what does life mean, when is life not worth it, or when is it worth it, like what does it mean to continue on, is a robot, are robots alive, do robots have emotions, are they capable of all of that? Just overall a great game, just made you think, which I very much enjoyed. There's I don't know. I enjoyed that, especially during Halloween, and I don't know. For me, it could definitely scratch a a sci-fi, futuristic, Bioshocky, not the kind of thematically kind of thing. I enjoyed it. So go ahead, Metal.
I returned back to Diablo 3 not probably like earlier this year, and it's only because I kind of wanted to play something. I wanted to see what they've been doing as of late, and I believe I was on season 25, I think it was. So they've gone a long way. Like,
25. Were they
man,
doing like 4 seasons a year? What?
Yeah, they do a couple.
Oh, okay.
they,
The game's only
they
been
do
up for
quite a
like
bit.
Yeah.
several years, I think.
So like, I went back into it, and man, gosh, every time I went in, it was just like I wanted to get more. I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, and I think eventually I ended up like I actually did the season, and I actually got the armor and stuff. And I think the only disappointing thing about it was, the armor you get wasn't any better than you would get if you were to just keep playing. This is like, oh wow, it's pretty terrible. And but that's like the only thing. But it's like, but I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, but Diablo 3 is just a fun game. And Diablo at its core is just, it's a good time.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see how that might leave your, your current rotation of games and easily come back. And my wife gets back into it, every year or so. So I get it.
Jesus. Yeah, it's such a fun game in general. Like I enjoy it. Like if I pick it up again today, I'd probably run through a piece of the season just because. So it's like, I mean, before you know it, I'm playing it every day because I'm doing bounties.
Yep.
So they
I
give
get
they
it.
give you stuff to do all of the time. So it's like, all right, you guys got me again. So
All right.
I enjoy it.
That's what we got.
Okay, so the winner for the Great Scott Award or Best Non 2022 game that we all played this year is Returnal.
Woo, yeah. A little surprised by that, to be honest, but
That's awesome.
I
Now
can't
you make me want to play it.
It's an excellent
I can't
game.
wholeheartedly disagree. It barely I still think Soma for me, but like if Soma wasn't a thing, I would have chose Returnal by far.
Yeah, great game. If you got a PS5, which I know is still not everybody, definitely recommend. I guess if you have a PC, you'll be able to play
I
it
think
soon.
January or February. I
Yeah,
think.
but you have to have like 32 gigs of RAM or some nonsense. So
That's half of my RAM.
I can do it.
Or I have half of that. I mean,
I'm going to throw a honorable mention in here, just because every chance I can, I'm going to advertise for this game. Hades.
Oh yeah.
Did we play it
game.
for the first time this year?
No, well, as I said, we're
Oh,
just
it's
kind of-
non 2022.
Yeah, just best
I
non
forgot.
2022 game. So too broad of a topic. Maybe next year we'll bring in the constraints a little bit. But Hades, if you have not played Hades, which I come back to every couple of months, man, I'll get sucked into it for however long. So definitely recommend, especially with the sequel right around the corner. Definitely something to check out.
Oh.
All right, with that, I'm actually going to force us into an intermission very quickly. I'm going to make you build some anticipation for just a minute. So we'll be right back.
Okay. So yeah, Elden Ring was the worst game I've ever played in my life. Oh, I should have opened it with, From Software is the worst company. Oh,
God.
I don't mean any of that. Apologies. Okay, so sorry about that. Minor hiccups. But so let's see. So we only have 2 left. Let's go ahead and get right into these. So we have, I know this is kind of something that we put in there to kind of look forward to next year. And we have the So Close Now award, or the most anticipated game by us going into 2023.
Do you catch the reference for this one?
So Close Now. This is one of the ones where So Close Now. It's a game.
It is a game.
So Close Now. You have to tell me. I feel like once you say it, I'm gonna know it.
Metal?
I'm lost.
Really?
Is it So Close Now? Is it Half-Life maybe?
No, I'm actually really disappointed in Metal because this relates to what he just his non-2022 game,
Close.
Diablo 3. This was Sadea, was that her name? The spider lady. As you're going down into her pit, she's like, so close now.
I would never guess Diablo. I would have thought something
you.
else.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking an achievement is why I don't know.
Nope.
I mean, it should be.
I'm a little disappointed, but that was a deep cut, so that's okay.
Nah, okay. So
That's
the
cool, I
So
like
Close Now award, or most anticipated. So we have the nominees are picked by Metal. We have Diablo 4. Phoenix picked Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Typical. And
Just because you're terrible at Zelda games.
For
You
those
want a
of you
real
who don't know,
laugh, or
watch-
if you're
watch-
having a hard
watch his
time going to
stream.
sleep,
Yeah, they're
watch Chazz's stream of Skyward Sword. You'll be
You
pulling your
have to
hair
watch
out.
it.
don't watch it.
You will love it.
I mean, do watch it.
Most
Yes,
frustrating.
Yes, go watch
frustrating
it.
thing.
go watch it.
Do
Enjoy
watch it.
yourselves.
And
And
leave
then
really hateful comments.
I picked Starfield. So, Metal, go ahead. Why are you looking forward to Diablo 4?
Like I said before, I like Diablo 3. But this game has been under wraps for such a long time. If they would have said something, if Nintendo would have said something about Metroid Prime 4, I would have been all for that, obviously. And I see you smirking over here, Chaz.
Oh.
You're
yeah.
smirking at my Metroid Prime 4. If that was there, I would have totally went for it. But in this case, it would be Diablo 4. When I saw them pull it out on the Game Awards, I got really excited. And just like Hades 2, this one was like, yes.
Well, Diablo 3 was what? Is it 8 years ago now? Is it that long?
That's several years.
I
Yeah,
like
I know at least.
Is it 10? Well, we're in 2022. I don't think it came out in 2012. I think it was like 2013, 2014. So it's 8 or 9. But
I don't
it's.
think so.
Well, you guys can check if you want. But I guess my point being is there's been a lot of anticipation for Diablo. So I get that one.
Oh yeah. I just hope they don't throw that gnarly, like you said, monetization model. Like they're freaking.
I mean,
What is
they're.
it? The auction house. Oh.
Well, the auction house was
The auction-
bad. What they did with Immortal was worse. I mean, they're both
God.
bad. But it's not beyond Blizzard to push something like that. So I guess it's just kind of up in the air. I know the game is going to be a good game. But yeah, how that monetization kind of plays out is going to be the question. But no, solid choice.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, my wife would agree.
Yeah. And I'm totally looking forward to Zelda too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I'll tell you, like, Breath of the Wild was not my favorite Zelda. I know for a lot of people it was. And
It was
this
really
is-
good. I really enjoyed it. I just did. Yeah, I agreed with you though.
I think Breath of the Wild was the foundation of what could be the best Zelda game. And this is a follow up to that. If they take the feedback that a lot of people gave about maybe what didn't quite work in Breath of the Wild and apply it here, this I think has a really strong chance of being hands down best Zelda. Now it's Nintendo. Will they listen to feedback?
No.
Probably not, but we will see. I mean, I know my big issue with Breath of the Wild was mostly I missed those
dungeons?
traditional dungeons.
Yeah.
Like, this one felt a little generic with the way they did the divine beasts and whatnot. I mean, the world exploration was great. The mechanics about how you navigate. I was even okay with, like, weapon degradation and stuff like that. I just really missed the dungeons. So if they bring that back, which I have a feeling they are, then this is going to be a great game.
Yeah, super excited to get to play as Zelda once again. And,
Man, not looking forward to your stream. Maybe I will hold off on the game and just watch your stream, and that will be my first introduction to the game.
I can't wait to save Link and play as Zelda. It's gonna be great.
Oh, help
We
us.
should both just end up going on the stream and watching him and just kind of
gonna
right in the
flash.
You
chat.
guys are gonna send a hate raid to my stream.
We'll get all our friends together and send a hate raid.
Yeah, I bet. All right,
We'll
so
get Kevin to go.
so my pick for most anticipated game of 2023 is Starfield. I'll be honest, I picked this because you picked Zelda already. I do think I probably would have went Zelda.
Really? That surprised me for you.
Really?
I think it's because because Starfield, like, part of me is interested for what it could be and what it's trying to do, but I keep having like the vision of like Fallout 4 kind of run through my head, and just how Bethesda's been as of late. It's just like oh yeah, like Bethesda, space, sci-fi, RPG. Like, you would think, like, for my like wheelhouse, that is where I want to be, but like I gotta see this game first. And like they're Todd Howard gave out so many like kind of like just big terms and was talking the game up, and he has so many like promises with this one, and it's like so he talked about how you could do all these things, but he didn't mention how you can actually like fly into the planet, how it's just kind of loads you in, and so it's not quite No Man's Sky, but it's
this again, I think you have to gauge your expectations for. Like, I'm excited too.
I'm anticipated because of, again, what it could be, but I'm
I think for me that's kind of the problem. I don't think you should be forming what the game could be. I think you need to start expecting what the game is going to probably be. Like, if you are thinking, oh, this could be this amazing space epic where you're flying around and landing on all these planets and it's whatever.
That's what I'm wanting.
You need to go into this. I think you'll enjoy it more if you go into it with the expectation this is just Skyrim in space. If you bring down those expectations and be like, okay, I like Skyrim, I like space, and put those together and just don't try to go beyond those expectations, I think you'll probably really enjoy this game.
Because that's the dream for me for almost a game. Like,
this will not be that.
Seamless travel onto a planet, walk off.
We've already said that's not going to
be in space, seamlessly get off of your ship and be able to hijack some other ship and interact with people above it and board it. Like,
that will not.
I know
be
it's not.
And I think here's the thing. I think this is probably going to be a good game. Like, honestly, like Bethesda, even though like they're not good games, are still actually pretty good at some level. I think what's happening, if you are expecting what I don't think they're going to deliver, you're going to miss out on what could be a really solid
experience. It's going to come out and it's going to be an 8, and it's going to be like pretty well received.
Again, depends on your expectation. It could be a 10 in regards to I was expecting this to be Skyrim in space.
I was expecting Pong.
Yeah, so that's my take. And once again, I don't know that for sure, but just looking at how they've kind of presented this game, how little we've seen of it, it makes me think those expectations need to be reined in. Diablo 4 we've seen. Zelda we haven't seen, but we've seen. But I mean, come on. It's
Zelda, there's a certain quality.
I don't think anybody's really concerned this is not going to be a good game. Starfield has a lot of questions. Honestly, what I'm more in anticipation of about Starfield is what it means for Xbox. Because this is kind of
this is their big...
If Starfield doesn't turn out really well, that was Xbox's kind of, golden egg for the longest time.
Redfall doesn't have, like...
Redfall...
Yeah, that's so new.
They're pitching that as kind of a big thing, but, that's just their new IP. So I don't think anybody really cares so much how that's going to turn out. But Starfield is a big bet, so I don't know. Either way. So, what do we got?
All
Clear
right.
winner on this one, or?
So, goodness. So the winner of the So Close Now award for the most anticipated game of 2023 goes to No, it's not. It is going to be Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Did nobody vote for Diablo 4?
Diablo 4 did not get one vote.
Nobody voted for Diablo 4. Wow.
Diablo should have gotten a vote.
I think so. Oh, wait a minute. How'd that happen? Serrano, did you not vote for your own choice?
Probably not.
I actually didn't. I didn't know we were supposed to vote.
Oh, you don't have to.
You can vote your own
But you
house.
can vote for it if you want. I'm just surprised like he wasn't even confident enough in his choice to vote for it.
Oh,
No,
I
no,
didn't
I
even
mean,
know
like-
you could. I didn't know you could even vote for.
I didn't even
ourselves.
vote on the
That's
survey,
almost
like,
unfair.
at all.
What?
Yeah.
No, you should vote. I
Yeah.
voted for mine.
Oh, okay.
Hence why I probably won.
I didn't know
everything.
that.
I didn't
Why
even
wouldn't
vote.
you?
I don't know. I thought it was only for people.
Man,
That's
we
what I
gotta
thought.
discuss the rules a little better.
He did the same thing.
Gee.
Well, now I feel like I've skewed the result.
Oh, it's okay.
Anyways, oh yeah, I think Zelda is a pretty obvious
Unless you have multiple accounts to vote for Legend of Zelda.
I did not do that. I do have an
Phoenix.
honorable mention. Now, I was a little surprised Serrano didn't lead for this one. Metal. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at pseudonyms. Final Fantasy 16.
Ugh, forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will
I
say
am looking forward to that though.
there's a lot of good games coming out next year.
I just thought of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say. I think when we set up this list, you know what I didn't know about, what we didn't know about. Hades 2.
Oh, 80s too. Yeah.
I didn't know about Hades 2 because of the Game Awards.
Right.
That was before we had set up the survey, I think. And I think Hades 2 would have been my pick probably if I would have known about it.
Yeah.
And same thing with the guy from BioShock. I'm very
Oh yeah.
knowing he's making a game, or Ken Levine, I think it
Mm-hmm.
is. The Ken Levine BioShock game. Those are two that like I'm probably more anticipating Hades 2 than Starfield. So I probably would have went with that one,
Yeah.
honestly.
I'll tell you, this year, although we've had some really good games, we're still, I think, kind of on the tail end of, COVID really affecting, like, development cycles and whatnot. A lot of games that should have been out, like Zelda was supposed to be out this year, just keep getting pushed back. So, although, I mean, we'll see here in a minute with our Game of the Year, like, good games, I still think this year was a little underwhelming overall, if you're looking at kind of the big releases. Next year, though, I think there's a lot to look forward to.
That's not the reason Star Citizen's not coming out.
The what?
That's not the reason Star Citizen's not
okay,
coming
no.
out.
Okay, there are some exceptions.
I'm just railing on Star Citizen.
No, but I mean, just those. We have 3 games there. Honorable mention with Final Fantasy, and then Hades. There's like 5 or 6 games off the top of our head that I think we're all really looking forward to. This year, I'll tell you, when I picked my Game of the Year, it was tricky. I don't know. I mean, we'll talk about it, but either way.
Okay, so, and we're on to the final. We have our final category here. We have the our Game of the Year, or our favorite game on the Citadel Award. So, Mass Effect.
Had to get a Mass Effect.
Had to get a
reference
Mass
in there.
Effect reference in there. So, Game of the Year. So, our nominees are, I picked God of War Ragnarok.
Boring.
Phoenix picked Arceus, and MetalGamer picked Tiny Tina's Wonderland. So, I'll go first, I guess. I did feel like, in my opinion, this was a bit tough for me because I was thinking of Arceus, and I don't know, I feel like the quality of Ragnarok is kind of what sold me ultimately. Like, Arceus was interesting in terms of the new things it was doing, but Ragnarok was, yes, more of the same, but it's a really good more of the same, which I'm kind of curious why. Would you say in a way was Ragnarok similar to the Horizon game?
I was just
where,
gonna
like,
say
it's more of the same, but it's really good. More of the same. Like,
it's like it leans the other way. So like Horizon was still a really good game, but I don't feel like it needed to exist. Like the mechanics were the same or were as good as before. The graphics were as good as before. The narrative, which I'll tell you, for me, a lot of it always comes down to narrative. Like that kind of.
That's kind of why I went with Ragnarok over Arceus, was the narrative aspect.
Yeah, God of War, the narrative needed, or has a good rationale for why it needed to be there, right? It was a continuation, the conclusion of this saga.
Grand tale. Yeah.
Horizon's got a narrative going. Maybe it's just I'm not digging it so much, but I think you could have left Horizon the first game and been done. They didn't enhance the gameplay enough to kind of justify his existence, and the narrative didn't. Although God of War, I would argue, didn't necessarily justify his existence based upon like the gameplay or the graphics, although they're excellent. We saw that before. But the narrative, I think, makes it worthwhile to exist. So that's my breakdown of why.
Yeah, it's a quality freaking game. Like,
Yeah.
it's great voice acting. The world's super interesting. You have a returning character that is like super beloved in video games. And it kind of closes a chapter in certain ways on certain things within the story. it I don't know. It just it almost in a way kind of felt like an Avengers movie where it's like
It's
you're
the
not blown
culmination,
away.
yeah.
I don't want to say I wasn't blown away, but like it was just I got what I wanted. I got what I was expecting. I had a lot of fun with it. I don't know. I don't want to say it didn't blow me away because there were certain sections like fighting the serpent at the tree was really cool, and then the battle with the wolf was super fun. I mean, there are certain sections that are like super memorable, but it just I don't know. Martin Scorsese wouldn't have liked it because I don't know. It felt very Avengers to me, where I was like, I enjoyed that. That was a fun ride.
That's fair. I mean, my thing with God of War, I know this isn't my pick. I mean, it's a good game. I think it's an obvious choice in some ways. It's not like an exciting game of the year. Like God of War is a good game. It really is. But for me, it's still not anything like, I don't know, pushing a genre or anything like that. It doesn't take any big risks. Like, it's quality through and through, but it's more the same in a good way. I'm glad it exists, but
something I heard on a podcast recently was actually touching on a thing that we actually talked about, and it was somebody I really enjoy on one of the IGN podcasts. But like they tore into the whole Ragnarok section of the game, and a lot of the points they were making, I was like,
that was the weakest part.
I was like, yeah, that section was pretty lackluster.
Yeah,
and
the ending of the game,
the stuff
was
you
a
were
little weak.
actually doing was nowhere near as interesting as the stuff happening in the background.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Well, again, Ragnarok was my pick. I still enjoyed it. It was a fun ride. So go ahead, Phoenix, for your pick.
Okay, I can finally get one more chance to talk about how great Arceus was.
5 minutes.
5 minutes at least. I'm curious what your fiance is thinking of Arceus. If she's been having a good time with it yet, or if she's kind of perplexed by it. I think I liked it because this, for one, was the first deviation, a big deviation that kind of pushed the Pokemon gameplay into a different direction. So that's what made me most excited about it. And although the game clearly is lacking a lot, like, I'm not trying to come in here saying Arceus is the best game ever, but especially in comparison to Scarlet and Violet, and I can't help but make that comparison. Arceus did a lot of it better. And I think it was just more unique with it. I think Scarlet and Violet took a step back, and it really makes you favor or kind of look at Arceus in a new light. I don't want to beat a dead horse here. If you haven't played Arceus and you played Scarlet and Violet, I definitely recommend don't skip over Arceus. Go back.
If you skipped Arceus and went to Scarlet and Violet, go back and play Arceus.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
You'll see. I think a lot of people are kind of praising Scarlet and Violet for being the one that kind of made these big innovations with the open world or whatnot, but Arceus is really what did that, and I think it did it better in a lot of ways. But I'll just leave it there. As it was the biggest surprise to me this year, how much I really enjoyed getting into it, and it's a game I still think back to from this year with wanting to go back and play it even more.
Yeah, and if they would have just named Pokemon Arceus like Pokemon, I don't know, Color and Color, I bet you it may have drawn a little bit more attention to it. The fact that it wasn't my mainline
so Arceus
push title.
You make me talk about this more.
Oh, sorry.
Arceus was missing some big features. I'm not saying Arceus was a complete game. Scarlet and Violet brought in the competitive side, which I said, there's two different Pokemon fans. There's the ones you want to fight, there's ones you want to collect. And Arceus was really all on the collecting side, so it alienated a lot of people. And most of the pushback I saw from Arceus, I mean, there was the obvious, it looks bad, the world was bland, all true stuff. But a lot of people didn't like that it missed that competitive gameplay. Scarlet and Violet brought that back, but they missed out, I don't know, the core heart or X factor that I think Arceus had. So we need to find a way to really push them together in, I think, a better way. Scarlet and Violet didn't do that. So out of the two big Pokemon games this year, Arceus is my pick. So I'm sticking with it.
Okay, Metal, go ahead for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Okay, I was gonna add a little bit to Arceus, but okay.
No, I want to hear.
Oh,
I want to
go
know.
ahead. Go ahead.
I want to know.
You want to hear?
Go ahead.
do.
We never need to end this video.
Well, this is a different take because you heard him talk about it the entire time.
It's true.
So I'm watching. I'm not even playing, and I'm watching her play. And my fiance's been playing it. And at first, I gotta say, I love the music in the game. First, the music is fantastic. Like, it's awesome. Now, if you're going into this game thinking, oh, you're gonna be catching Pokemon and battling them, obviously you didn't read behind the box. It literally states behind the box. This is an RPG. that you're a scientist, you're looking for
Man,
Pokemon.
reading's
That is
hard.
pretty much what it is.
Reading's really
And,
hard
like,
though.
And so she's playing it. I'm sure she's playing it right now. And she's been on it for quite some time, and she's really digging the game. And she likes the fact that it's different. It's
She's
not
gonna have to
like
make the
same-
kid wait. She's gonna make the kid
Huh?
wait until after she finishes the game.
Oh.
Yeah, right. But yeah, like she's been loving it, man. Like,
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, like I'm watching and I'm like, I can see where you're coming from with some aspects.
So
but-
did you see where I
yeah.
came from with for me it being like my most cathartic game as well? Could you kind of see where
little
why I
bit,
picked
yeah.
with that? Yeah.
Yeah, because you're doing stuff. You're constantly
Mm-hmm.
busy.
It's a more
You're constantly
relaxing
Yes, the world is
experience.
a little bland. The world is a little empty.
But wait
But-
till you
But
violent out.
but because it's a little empty, you got to look at the context that it's in.
Hmm.
There was no gyms. There's none of that stuff. They're still kind of primitive.
Right.
And that's where the whole thing comes in. It's like when you think of anything that's primitive like that, it's not gonna have all that stuff already. So I get it.
Yeah, and here, to be fair, I don't want to, argue away the fact that the world was empty, because it was. And that was one of my critiques pretty heavily when we talked about it way back when, was the world was pretty bland. It's not as bland as Scarlet and Violet, though. Like, Scarlet and Violet, I feel like, is
not bad?
emptier.
Yeah,
Scarlet and
it's
Violet
more
is
empty.
bigger.
Yeah.
Like, so, when I think back to Arceus, and we're dragging the Arceus out, but a part of me loves it. Like, I can picture each little mini hub world and remember something unique about each one of them. Like, in the first one...
I like the mud area where the Pokemon would actually like hide in the mud.
like a mud area, but even more than that, like there was this one water or like mountain in the first area you could fly to after you got to a certain point that had like a lake at the top. It was like Gyarados Mountain, and like they had the big tree area in the back, the sacred tree. Like they had some more
I forgot
interesting.
about the sacred tree.
They had more interesting landmarks.
The sacred tree had like Beedrill and like insect Pokemon. and
There was
stuff.
like some like ruins and like the caves you could go in. Like it was still bland, but there was more thought put into some interesting landmarks
really
and
like the
things in the
snow
world.
area.
The snow area had some cool stuff with like the little village off to the side. Like it was still bland, but compared to Scarlet and Violet, it feels like there was so much packed into it. Like it's night and day in a lot of ways. So I look back more favorably just because of that.
And I feel like the Pokemon in Arceus were more engaging or active in the world. Like they were actually doing a little bit more than they are in Violet.
I
feel
don't know
like
if I would say that.
in Scarlet Violet, I feel like they are just grazing.
I feel like
Pokemon,
they were doing the same. And,
Really? Okay.
Seriously, I want to be very fair to Scarlet and
Now
Violet.
none of the that activity is nothing like Pokemon Snap. At least in Snap, they
Oh
were
yeah,
like
that's
the
what we
newer
need.
Snap
We need
game.
snap
That's a
levels of
different game,
integration.
though.
But that's
Yeah.
the kind of like when I think of like Pokemon in the world, I think about how they interact with it in like Pokemon Snap, like the way they're climbing up the tree and playing with each other. Like I know that's a big ask, but I feel like they could get closer to it. I think what made it feel more like more was happening was the way you interact with the Pokemon. The research stuff you do gives you a reason to interact with each and every Pokemon in different ways, either to collect them a certain way, to fight with them a certain way. They gave you all these things to do with each Pokemon. Violet and Scarlet does not do that. You capture the Pokemon, and that's it. And if it's a Pokemon you don't feel like it has any interest to be on your team, like you're like, I don't like the way it looks, I don't like the style, I don't think it's going to be a good part of my team, you can just ignore it. There's no reason to interact with it beyond that. Whereas Arceus gave you a reason to go after every single Mon and do something with it.
Every single
Every single Mon. Every Mon.
Yeah.
So I think that's what
completely
did it for me.
agree
But once
100%.
again, I am a collector when it comes to Pokemon more than a battler. I mean, I do a little bit of dabbling with competitive stuff, but nowhere near as much as I just want to get them all. So,
Okay.
Anywho,
Did we let Gamer talk
Yeah.
about
no, no.
Tiny Tina's?
Never.
No, we
we're,
didn't.
we're just going to stop here.
Okay,
Arceus
so
won.
We
I'm going to
went
go
on
ahead and just
I had
declare
to-
it now. Pokemon Arceus
We went
is
on
game
so
of the
long
year.
about Arceus.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, Tiny
okay.
Tina's.
Real quick. I won't beat the dirt. I won't beat the horse. So, this is to be honest, this is the reason why I picked this one is because this was the first game I got to play in quite some time.
Really?
You guys pulled me out.
I mean, I
of
do
not
remember
playing
you were
games for a
having.
while.
I remember you having trouble making your pick too.
I
A little
was
bit, right? Yeah.
And this game, you guys pulled me out of the rut with this game because this is a. I remember how much fun I was playing games with you guys.
Yeah.
And just kind of enjoying the company of playing a video game again, because I've been busy at work, and this is more of a personal pick. But I did enjoy the gameplay. Was obviously a lot like Borderlands, normal Borderlands game. The mechanics of more loot, more loot, more loot is always fun, so you can never go wrong with having that.
I really enjoyed
it's an overall good game.
I really enjoyed the Torg's opening section where the nuke.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Torg's always a good
Yeah,
time.
he's a great character. He's always a fun character.
Hercules, Satan.
Yeah. I definitely get what you're saying. Like,
Satan.
I think, regardless if we're looking at this game from an objective standpoint, like games, at least to a certain level, always can be subjective because the time of your life that you're in at that point, like what you've been doing up to that point, who you're playing the game with, that can greatly impact your enjoyment of a game. And I agree, like Tiny Tina's, I don't think objectively is the best game that came out this year, but I had a lot more fun with it than I had a lot of other arguably higher quality games. Like if I had to put
Elden Ring.
Yeah, and here's the, like, just to kind of pick the categories that are up here. If I could pick the time I had with Tiny Tina's versus the time I had with God of War, if I could only have one of those experiences, I would probably pick Tiny Tina's, to be honest.
Screw you guys. I'm
Hey, the winner's already picked. So
Yeah, okay.
And it's not that God of War is not like a good game. Objectively, it is a great game. But Tiny Tina's was a lot of fun just to play on its own. We played with each other, which helped a lot. And I said, maybe it pulled you out of a rut or whatever it may be. So part of it, I'll tell you for even why I enjoyed Arceus so much, is because I, as a kid, loved Pokemon. Had fallen off a lot in recent years. And this brought me back into it. I kind of felt like a kid again, just playing Arceus and dig into Pokemon and all that.
We need to get him into Everybody Saves the World. That one.
Nobody
Saves the World. That one was so much fun.
One of my friends told me about it, and he showed it to me when I was there.
Play it co-op if you can.
He was living in Colorado, and it was a super fun looking game.
We love that.
Changing
I love
into
that
different
game.
characters and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so those are our picks. I'm sure people are going to disagree with them, but, you know, too bad. It's our show.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, here we go. Our favorite game on the Citadel Award or Game of the Year. This is the ultimate Game of the Year show or announcement.
It doesn't matter whatever the Video Game Awards said or IGN. This is the best
There is
game.
no other larger platform than the ChazmaN YouTube channel.
Elden Ring?
Enter ChazmaN.
Elden Ring pops up as not even a nominee.
Enter ChazmaN, IGN, Kotaku, whoever else you want to put there. All right, here we go. I'll stop dragging it out. So our Game of the Year is
Pokemon Arceus. Yay!
Yay! No, you're wrong. It is the one I picked, God of War Ragnarok.
Fine.
Yeah.
Where's
God
Corey?
of War.
Where's Corey Barlog at? He's somewhere over here. Come here, Corey. There you go. Or no, he's not even a part. He didn't even work on this game. I don't even think he did. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Great game. I'm not gonna say it's not. I know I've been arguing back and forth, but this is a quality game. I think it's a obvious choice.
I almost feel bad picking it because it's the game everyone was talking about for a little bit. So it's like.
It's, as I said, we all pick favorite games for different reasons. Sometimes we pick them because we feel like they were, genre defining, or sometimes we pick them because the quality was at a certain level, or sometimes you pick it just because it made you feel a certain way. So I think our choices all kind of reflect different, rationale for what makes a game of the year. So
it's definitely. It's more of a cinematic experience. I could see why mainstream wise it is something that is very accessible for people. Like to me, it almost is a polar opposite of like an Elden Ring, where like Elden Ring it's not exactly super accessible or approachable, but like if you can get into that experience, you delve deep into the lore, into the world.
Got my fireworks for this one.
The world and the lore is like the thing, but like God of War, like it's more about the narrative and the cinematics and like the gameplay is an aspect, but. I don't know. I feel like you only walk away from that game really remembering, some of the cinematic aspects. Like, it feels like some of the gameplay is like a little on the back burner, if that makes any sense.
Sure. I thought the gameplay was good. Like, I think I've come across hard in our conversations.
I'm just trying to give you wiggle room to squeak in Arceus, right?
No,
right
you don't need to. Here's the thing: I'm not ever gonna, deny somebody's choice of game of the year, because once again, I think it's honestly comes down to a subjective thing more than almost anything else. God of the War, though, is a solid game.
I just mean Ragnarok is a super gamey game. It's a super gamey game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think it's an obvious choice, but it's still a good choice. I mean, hey, games are fun as long as you had fun playing it. It's okay if that's your game of the year.
Alrighty, well, shoot, man, that's everything. That's 2022 for us. Our first ever CHAZZIE Awards.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. We had some technical hiccups. Hopefully, we can resolve some of those next year.
We, of course, didn't get under 2 hours like every ChatZman podcast episode.
It's because I can't shut up. So.
Yeah. Gamer put on an awesome show. He rocked the crowd.
That was probably my favorite part. So
that was my favorite part by far. Yeah, definitely. So I don't know. I guess if you guys want any conversations about us looking forward to 2023, I feel like our next podcast episode, we should. We'll touch on maybe some of the futures for the following year or the upcoming year there. But here we just had a boatload of fun. We just wanted to kind of talk about some of our games, some of our opinions on, or not even opinions, just to kind of show off some of these award winners. And I don't know. That's everything. Do you guys have anything to say before we tune out here?
No, I think it's a good idea. I think next podcast, let's talk about some.
We'll talk about more 2023
Let's flesh out that anticipated game stuff, because
maybe
I want to talk about Starfield a little more.
No, so. I'm okay. Yeah. We could find a way to make some sort of interesting topic out of it or something.
We'll try. It'll be interesting to us. If you guys enjoy it, who knows and who cares? This is our show, so thanks for tuning in.
I should say, just as always, we'd love to hear your opinions on any of these winners here. I mean, if you loved Elden Ring and you thought it was the greatest game you've ever played in your life, please let us know down in the comments. If you didn't agree with God of War or anything, we'd love to hear. Phoenix would love to talk more about Arceus. So
I just want to know if people are watching this stuff. So.
I'm sure. No, okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Do you guys have anything to say?
Nope.
No. All good. Thank you so much.
Happy New Year.
Yep. Happy New Year's, everyone. Pew pew pew.